Good morning, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here today. We are going to start off with some fishing. Justin, Jason, Edward, Tim, Ryan, Ashley, good morning. Good morning, guys. Thank you all for being here. Did anyone die yet? I don't know. I haven't died yet. Jackie, good morning. No, all the hardcore characters that were alive at the beginning of the week are still alive today, but some of them are retired. Some of them are rethinking their life choices. Whitney, good morning. Kinda hoping we can catch, like, some normal fish here. Edward, am I still going to play the Dwarf Rogue? Yeah, I think I will. I might even play some today, depending on if I actually am in the mood for hardcore, or if I'm not in the mood for hardcore. We'll have to see. Nikolai, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Alex, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. We're getting sickly looking fish because we're in Tirisfal Glades. If we were fishing anywhere else, then yeah, they'd probably just be normal. Yeah, Mike, but it's not real news though. You're right. There's a little bit on Wowhead about like patch notes for the hardcore PTR, but it's not like anything that we care about necessarily. It has to do with like the duels to the death. You're running away from them. The consequences of running away. And then they talked a little bit about baking in like chat features, like seeing the guild death notifications is going to be like a channel that you can turn on in your channel settings. And that's it. Like that's not news to me, you know. It's not the kind of news that I want to hear, obviously. Like what I would really, the only thing when it comes to hardcore, like I think the only news that people care about would be like a release date. Especially because like the PvP stuff is a niche. A very small niche. I wonder how many characters am I going to make? 7,336.24. That's how many characters I'm going to make. Yeah. We're about 1/3 of the way there, so only 40 more years to go, man. 40 more years. Alex, apparently Blizzard cares a lot. Blizzard cares a lot because the thing about it is while they're tweaking all this stuff and like putting it into the game and while they're testing it, it's a reason to not have the servers be live right now. So they care a lot. Yeah. They care a lot about it. Yeah, it was an oddly specific number to a question that, like, you know, I get asked a lot but that I don't really care about. So, yeah, just a little bit of sass today. They could finish it up, and they could put the server out next week if they wanted to. They don't have to test any more stuff or iterate on anything. It's just a reason to not put them out, you know. And the messed up thing is, like, since we got those patch notes today, guys, you can be assured that you are not going to see hardcore servers in August. This was your August news. It's the end of July. So if you were gonna have hardcore servers in August, you would have a release date. But instead, you got a wimpy little patch note about a feature that only 1% of people are actually going to engage with. So there you go. That's Blizz for you. Yeah, Jason says Blizz gonna Blizz no matter who owns them. Yeah. What if they finish the server, Wilder? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna play one of those 7,346.24 characters on it. That's what I'm gonna do, man. Immediately, I'm gonna start a new character. What do you think I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do. If you're asking me, like, specifically what class I'm gonna roll and stuff, I don't know. I don't know the details, but we're gonna roll a class, you know. It's gonna be a race, and it's gonna start in a zone, and we're gonna have some abilities. That's what I know for sure. Yeah, you know, I basically enjoy everything I do, and the moment I stop enjoying it, I stop playing it. That's why I have 7,346.24 characters. Mike, good morning, man. Keopia, assuming I can get 10 people online at the same time in the same place to sign a guild charter, then yes, absolutely. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I can't control that part of it. Edward, you don't really want to play your current hardcore warlock because of these official servers. Yeah. Edward, they did that on purpose. Yeah. They wanted to kind of kill it, you know. Because if they can kill it now, two things happen. They won't be having a split audience between Bloodsail Buccaneers and the official servers, because it'll be dead by the time official comes out. And yeah, they want people to do other things, like go back to retail and spend money in the cash shop. So yeah, the thing you're feeling, like everybody's feeling. I'm feeling it too. Yeah, I'm feeling it too, but I'm going anyway. You know, I have a lot of time on my plate, so. But I think, like, the thing you're feeling has definitely impacted hardcore, and it's impacted a lot of players negatively. And that's what people are going to remember, you know, about this. Ryan, do I follow any sports? Only football. when it's football, American football. I'm sorry, the NFL. I have some EU people. Obviously, I should be more specific. I follow the NFL when it is the NFL season. Yeah. I lived in Kansas City for 8 years, and I started watching the Chiefs. My wife started watching the Chiefs first, and my wife got me into watching football, which I never used to think I would watch football. Because of how... Ooh, an attack. Because of how physically violent it is. But yeah, I got over it. There's still parts about the sport I don't like, but they iterate on the rules and try to make it safer every year, so... Yeah, Edward, they want it to be a fresh start, though. I see what you're saying, but like when they open the new servers, they want everybody to be starting fresh. What they are doing is they're offering transfers off of Bloodsail and Hydraxian Waterlord. So if you have current hardcore... Let's say you start leveling a hardcore character today. At any point, you could decide just to send him over to an actual server and, you know, just play him somewhere else if you didn't want to do the journey. How high is my fishing now? On this character, basically non-existent. We're at 21. I just started. This is our first time fishing on this character. I know it gets confusing between the 7,000 characters that I have. Which one has like fishing and which one doesn't, but yeah, we're pretty low here. Karen, good morning. Thank you. Yeah, everything is good. Yes, Otukan, they are offering transfers off of Bloodsail and Hydraxian Waterlords. As many characters as you want. I think they're trying to replicate how it's going to be on the official server. They said on the official, when you die, you'll have the option to send that character somewhere else. So on the surface, they did this to make it even, but it's part of the agenda to kill hardcore. Because now that people can freely transfer off Bloodsail and Hydraxian, like, yeah, you're gonna take your character, you're gonna transfer him off. I'm probably gonna transfer my Paladin off because he's well and truly stuck. I don't have a big ambition to play him in this game mode anymore, and I'm probably gonna get him over to Mankrik, take him to the auction house, and buy him a really nice weapon. And then he's gonna retire in Booty Bay as a blacksmith because I'll be able to also buy ore like really cheaply on the auction house. So yeah, I think a lot of people are taking that transfer. The thing about the non-hardcore realms though is that like they're connected. So they're all connected. There's like 3 different like shards. Nikolai, how come I lost interest in leveling the Paladin? Because I got him stuck. Without doing Elite Quest and without doing dungeons, we're about 2 or 3 levels behind where we should be. If you couple that with the fact that we are completely reliant on a weapon to do DPS, and the fact that the last weapon we got was at level like 38, it's been 10 levels. We can't do any damage. We go on every single pull. Basically, every pull results in us at like 1/3 health, 1/4 mana. Even if we're fighting something green, even if we're fighting something at level with us, it doesn't matter. And so, yeah, I got the Paladin stuck. By not doing enough dungeons early game, i.e. any, and by not circling back to do like the Elite Quest, like how on the Warrior we circled back to do the Vargosh quest and we did Hogger. We didn't do that stuff on the Pally. So I just don't have interest in it because like I gotta get him 2 levels. But let's say I grind for 20 hours and I get him as 2 levels. He's now gonna have a weapon that is 12 levels old and is even more worthless than it's ever been. And that's what I call being stuck. Yeah. Yeah, Tim, it's been pretty brutal. And it's like, every part of it is intentional, and every part of it is obfuscated. You know, they're not gonna tell you, yeah, we want Bloodsail and Hydraxian to die, so that people can do hardcore with us eventually, and so we can make sure that dies too, and so that people can go play the new season of Classic at the end of the year, because we really need people to stop playing hardcore eventually and play the new season. And so, you know, everything they're doing is calculated, but they're not, like, they can't be transparent about it, you know? It's all, like, obfuscated and hidden. But at the same time, it's, like, it's pretty obvious, you know, to look a little bit beneath the surface of their actions and see what they did. You know, they announced hardcore back in May. Or June. It was May or June. And they had no intention of opening those servers anytime soon. But they said summer. And they didn't have to say summer. Summer was a very calculated thing to say. Because back in May or June, people were like, oh, damn. Summer is soon. It's going to be summer any day. This is happening now. And so, you know, they stopped creating new characters on the current servers. A lot of people took the transfers that were eventually offered and moved their characters elsewhere that were higher level. And yeah, every day you just kind of see less and less interest. It was May, yeah. Right, Otukin, they shouldn't have said anything until 2 or 3 weeks before launch. And then the first thing they should have came out with was all the baked-in rules and the release date. You don't need a PTR to test server functions. You don't need a PTR to see if people can collect stupid little items in-game. You don't need a PTR to test Duel to the Death. You don't need a PTR to test guild death notifications. You just need a couple guys at Blizzard to test those things. You don't need a 2-month-long PTR. It's not a retail patch. You know, there's nothing really super new gameplay-wise that we're testing or doing. And so it's all intentional. You know? Like I said, they want people to go back to retail for the time being. Because in retail, like, there's a chance that you'll spend money. You know? And that's fine, because, like, retail's fun. Like, I'm having a lot of fun leveling my Warlock. And I'm super excited to finish that Warlock and start leveling a Caster Druid. I'm gonna go Night Elf Balance Druid. body type A, for those wondering. I'm really excited to start that. And so, like, retail's a fine place to be, but it sucks that they felt like they had to kill hardcore, because I don't think it was necessary. I'm gonna cook the fish, Water. Yeah, if I find the recipes, I'll be cooking the fish. Yeah, absolutely. I just have to find the recipe for the brilliant small fish. I don't know if I can get it in Tirisfal Glades. Edward, retail is really good right now. Yeah, like I've been mainly just enjoying leveling, but I've done some stuff on my max level shaman. That was fun. You know, I'm not like a daily endgame player right now, but I play retail almost daily, like even if it's leveling, and I have a lot of fun with that. Alex, so they talked about it in May. They said it's coming, and then at the end of June they released the rules, and that was like, again, people like, oh, they put out the rules. We're gonna get it in July. We're gonna get hardcore soon, and we're not. And the entire time, guys, I've been saying the end of summer the entire time since day one of the announcement. I've been saying that we're not gonna see it happen until the very last week of summer, and it's one of those things where, like, you would love to be wrong if you're me in this scenario, but I'm not wrong, and that sucks. Yeah, Otukin, you know, I hear you, and retail leveling is faster, but the cool thing about retail leveling, especially if you're like an experienced player, is that you can take Cataclysm time walking. You can level anywhere you want. You can think, like, what's a zone that I haven't seen? What's a zone that I never quested in, I don't remember it, and you have the freedom to go, like, level up in all these amazing places in the world, and, like, you're gonna clear 5 or 6 zones, I think, like 4 to 6. I don't know, because we had the XP buff for a little bit with the Warlock, so it's hard for me to get a good gauge, but I'd say you're gonna be able to clear, like, anywhere from 4 to 7 zones, depending on, like, how many quests are in those zones, and it's like you get to have your pick, and it's still a bit of a journey. I think that, like, ultimately, especially to get a character max through Dragonflight, if you're just trying to hit 70 on a character, you're probably still going to have, like, a 30-40 hour journey, I would think, especially when you're playing without the XP buff. Which, to me, it still feels good. I got to learn my class, I got to learn my talents, I got to learn, like, rotations, I got to feel like in retail that I had enough time while leveling up. And then getting into Dragonflight's been good, because some mobs are a little bit tougher, some have a little bit more HP. I'm having to work through my rotation a little bit more, and it's been good. Yeah, Cata time walking, you can go anywhere you want in the old world. It's like, you just think about, like, what zones did I not see after Cataclysm? And for me, like, I was a Horde player for the most part, so for me, there's a lot of zones that I didn't see after the Cataclysm revamp. Asian Dad, that's awesome, man. Water, how many fish do I have? 4,702. Just not all on this character. Jason, nice, nice. How much more are we gonna fish? Let's see. We are at 30 out of 75. We have a few fish in our bags. I don't know if we can get the recipes here to cook them, but we can go see. Creerub, can't I do dungeons with my Paladin to get a weapon? Nah, not really. For a couple of reasons. The first reasons are, like, nobody else is, like, level 47. We're in, like, the 1%. So let's say I could find 5 guys on that could complete a group comp at level 47. The other thing that's going to happen is, in solo self-found, the way that we're handling it now is, like, you can only do a run once. So if any of those guys who happen to also be level 45 to 47 are actually alive, if they've done the dungeon once, they can't do it again. So imagine your population of tanks and healers available for a ZF or an Uldaman run is going to be basically non-existent. I mean, it took us 2 hours to find a healer and a tank for Ragefire Chasm on our Warlock. And that's the first dungeon that anybody can do. It's the easiest dungeon to do. There's basically no threat. And we took us 2 hours to get a group for that, and then as soon as we got a group together, our tank died out in the world. He died. He died before the run. and so those are 2 points that are going to make it impossible to find a dungeon group. The other point is, like, right now we're DPS, and in Classic era, nobody wants or needs a DPS Paladin. Because as you guys have seen, we don't do lots of DPS. We can barely kill green enemies. So, and then yeah, who wants to bring a DPS Pally? Like, because that tank who's tanking the run, he needs DPS weapons. He's not like a tank out in the world, you know? So it's like competition. It's a bad situation, yeah. In any normal mode of the game, yeah, you'd absolutely just go get a better weapon. I would go grind Uldaman or ZF until I got an awesome weapon. I'd go grind ZF until we got the 2 swords, and we made them into the epic 2-hander. That's what we would do, like, honestly. I would grind the crap out of ZF for as long as it took to get both 1-handers, and then we would make that epic sword. The same one that I had on my SOM warrior. But we can't do that because it's hardcore, and it has all the hardcore problems. So... yeah. Yes, Crib, you will be able to run 1 a day. You're still gonna have the same problem though of, like, especially in that level range, not a lot of people are gonna make it that far. Also, just the whole healer tank thing. Finding healers and finding tanks in hardcore is incredibly hard. Because nobody wants to play those roles anyway. Nobody wants to play those roles in, like, a normal mode of the game. But more than that, they don't want to be responsible for the deaths of other people. So they certainly don't want to play those roles in hardcore, you know what I mean? It's not a good situation. If you're someone who likes to do lots of 5-mans like I am, like, hardcore is, like, very, very punishing to you emotionally. Because you just don't get to do it. You just don't get to do a lot of 5-mans. That's kind of why I've been getting on Wrath of the Lich King recently quite a bit, and I've been doing the Heroic Plus Plus just to, like, satiate my desire to do 5-man content. And those have been fun. Yeah, like, the 1 run a day thing will help at low levels, you know, like, yeah, it'll be cool to be able to do multiple runs of SFK. But once we get to the higher level stuff, like, it's already impossible to convince anyone to tank or heal. I'll probably resolve one of those, like, when we do the hardcore, like, I'll probably be a priest at this point. And at least that way I can heal the group. But yeah, then we still have to find a tank. And then I'm putting my group in the hands of, like, a tank that I don't know. And, like, I don't know what's worse. Being a tank and having to rely on a healer you don't know, or being a healer and having to rely on a tank you don't know. Like, they're both bad. As the priest, like, I'm gonna get away, like, I'm gonna live. Like, if the tank pulls 27 things, I'm gonna call for a run. I'm gonna have a macro, run away, everybody run, and then I'm gonna run for the dungeon entrance. And like, the tank will get a power word shield, and then we'll be off to the races. So that's the one good thing about being a healer, is I'm pretty sure as a priest, if the dungeon goes sideways, I could probably get us out. Buffalo Bill, good morning, man, thanks for being here. What's up, man? No, you can come over here for a minute. I'm just fishing.
I know,
Mom told you I was fishing?
Check.
What are you up to? Minecraft got stuck.
Yeah.
Just power cycle it.
Yeah, and the old Sonic the Hedgehog, there's this boss which is overpowered and I can't do anything.
He's overpowered. Yeah, sometimes you gotta jump on, like, certain parts of the boss, like try jumping just on top of him.
Yeah, I was in the chemical plant zone, and it was Eggman. He literally had those little flip things, which, and then when you step on, when every, like, couple seconds they flip. Like,
I don't know that one, man.
And you fall through.
It sounds
into
rough.
The poisonous juice.
The poison juice?
The poison water, whatever it's called.
Why don't you play the Sonic Minecraft mod? It'd probably be a little easier than actual Sonic. Don't panic, there's a ghost behind you. Is that what his shirt says?
Like that's, wait.
It says pretend I'm a ghost on your shirt.
Oh, I
Yeah.
A Pac-Man ghost plushie. Well, two. One is the ones which when you get one of those yellow power-up things, the blue, you can chase them. You know?
That's how Pac-Man works, yep.
Yeah.
You were talking about the stuffy.
What have you caught?
What have I caught? I've caught lots of fish. I've caught raw, brilliant small fish. I've caught sickly looking fish. They don't look so good. And I've caught some raw, long jaw mud snappers that look like toads. And I'm gonna try to cook them.
It does look like a toad.
Yeah.
And by the way, the computer is right there.
That's the screen. The computer's down there.
Yeah.
We've talked about
The
this.
screen's over here.
I know where the screen is.
I'm talking to
They know
chat.
where the screen is too because they can see where I'm looking. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Alright, so
Is
what?
there any like cherry blossom forests?
Cherry blossom forest?
Yeah, that was kind of like cherry blossom.
There's a couple zones that kind of look like that. But not so much in classic era.
Are we in Minecraft? What? But like realistic Minecraft? Like those cursed Minecraft? Who people just make mods of when there's circles. It's so glitched out because they're literally, the blocks are literally just circles that you can see the void.
That's incredibly weird. And I can't
Yeah,
quite,
people actually do that.
I can't even quite visualize that, man.
They're like round 3D circles as blocks. I would rather have Minecraft like this.
But that's not Minecraft though. Minecraft is squares and pixels.
Yeah, if anybody wants to make a realistic Minecraft mod,
You could just play a realistic game instead, like play something different.
or just do something like this, quest, because most mods have mechanics.
Pretty soon I'm gonna be fighting stuff, and I don't want to get killed. So
I haven't got all day.
you are like relatively distracting. I don't know if you.
Time.
So when I run out of town here to go fight, I'm gonna kick you out of my office.
Bam.
Don't do
Die
that.
saying
Not with the
watch
Nerf
over
gun.
you.
It's just a Nerf blast.
Yeah, you know how I feel about that.
Oh, R2D2. And I did think about getting a pet robot which will teach me stuff.
Yeah, we talked about that last night.
What do you require?
Can I get any of the recipes here for fish? You don't have them. There's no cook here, which I guess makes sense, seeing as how they don't really need to eat. I'm gonna check the vendors outside here.
I have exactly what you need. Do
I
not
am
seek
forsaken.
death.
Okay.
I'll see you later, man. We got the crispy bat wings, but yeah, I already learned that one. I don't know who else
Embrace
would,
the shadow.
maybe somebody in Undercity. Not a good zone for fishing, it turns out. Yeah, not a good zone for fishing. Alright, let's head out in a direction here. We've got level 11 this way, we've got level 8 up here. I thought we already finished that one, but I guess we didn't. I guess we didn't finish it. Let's go do that, I guess. Yeah, the inn music here is very, very unique. I never heard it until Classic. Until like Classic came out and we were playing here. You know, 18 years before that I never noticed it. Yeah, I guess we won't be doing any cooking today. I kind of leaves me in a bad spot with my inventory. I guess the good thing is like, so official hardcore we'll be able to have bank alts, right? I'll be able to mail stuff to my bank alt and get rid of it, because God, wouldn't that be awesome? Just to mail stuff to your bank alt to get rid of it? Yeah. I'd kind of like to be able to do that. That'd be awesome. my favorite zone to quest in based on aesthetic, probably the Blood Elf area, followed by like Elwyn Forest. And like Mulgore, I like the look of Mulgore, but I'm never sure about like the flow of questing. The flow of questing is different. But yeah, the Blood Elf area is really beautiful. So is the Draenei area, although not as many people like the Draenei area. I think the new Dragonflight zones are really beautiful. I think that they're better enjoyed when you spend some time on the ground. Like, in my first playthrough when we were going through the campaign, I basically used the dragon to jump. Like, even if I had to go 100 yards, I would just I call it dragon hopping. I would just hop on the dragon. In the Void Elf playthrough, I've been staying on the ground a bit more and actually enjoying the zones and how they look and, like, the details of them, and they're amazing. They're designed, like, if you have to travel far, like if you have to go more than like 500 yards, you have to mount up, because like the way the terrain is designed, like some of it's kind of impassable. But like while you're questing and stuff, like you don't have to mount up, and it's more enjoyable when you run around a little bit. So it's been really nice. We'll be going to Undercity soon for a couple of things, so we'll check it then. Now we're done with this one. Now we're 8 out of 8. Let's turn this one in. We might have to do some inventory cleanup before we head back out. Yeah, I really wish that like pre-Cataclysm there was more to do in Azshara. After the Cataclysm revet, they made it into a goblin zone, and I kind of hate the goblins. So I didn't really appreciate like what they did with it ultimately, but yeah, it was a really beautiful zone in Classic Era that just didn't have enough attention. There's not enough to do in it. They should have made it into like a level like 30 to 45 zone, something to kind of help fill in that gap. Instead, I think there are like 4 quests you can do there in the level 50s. I remember looking for like tablets in the Night Elf ruins and stuff. A goblin or Forsaken in real life? I don't know. I'd have to physiologically know a lot more to answer that question. Yeah, I have concerns about both of them. I don't think that like mentally or physiologically or emotionally like a person would survive simply becoming another race. I think you'd probably descend into some kind of madness before you got accustomed to it. And so I always find it funny when people are like, "Oh, I'd like to be this race." Like, no. You probably wouldn't. If by some chance that did happen, it would probably not be okay. You'd probably go insane. Like, everything about your body is gonna function differently. It's not gonna be a pretty picture, no matter what. I'd like to just spend this life as a human, and then we'll see what the next one holds. You know. You don't want to see a goblin dentist. It involves a pick and a hammer. Basically. Yeah. No, I don't think I could be either. I think I'd probably lose it. Let's drop some of this. Like, yeah, it sucks, but I'm gonna keep 1 stack and that's gonna be all. I don't. Oh, that's food that I conjured. I do need that. We could do a little bit of this. Let's go ahead and make our bolts, and maybe we just do some crafting and we sell it to get this out of our inventory.
Goodbye. What is it? Watch your back.
We'll just make all these, then we'll sell them. I don't think we need them. Oh well, we'll equip one pair. We'll get like 3 more armor. Probably not going to make a really big difference, but we'll equip them anyway. Will they actually be pants? Yeah, they are actual pants, so that's nice to see. I do prefer casters in like tunic and trousers style gear, especially when we're not showing our bones. But yeah, we'll see. We'll probably end up in robes for most of the time. Ghost, we made this character a couple days ago when I was having like a lot of ADD and I was feeling really ambivalent about hardcore and about the Paladin and stuff like that. Like, yeah, we made this character, we made a gnome warrior. We ended up playing the warrior for a bit. The problem is that I have to admit that like long term the warrior is probably going to suffer from the same problem that is afflicting the Paladin, which is that he can't deal enough damage because he has a piece of crap weapon. And the warrior's going to end up that way someday too, if we were to continue playing it. And so I had to kind of like pivot. Yeah, I bought one bag already, but I probably do need to buy another one. We were hoping we'd get a bag drop here, but we haven't got any bag drops. It has been not great.
Remember.
Yeah, I think I'll play the rogue. What I'll do is like when I get burned out of hardcore, I'll play the rogue. That's kind of what I was doing, like when I just don't want to play hardcore that day, which sometimes happens. Then I will jump on the rogue for that day.
What now?
Because I never seem to get sick of classic era, but yeah, sometimes I do get sick of hardcore. It's happened a couple times recently where I've woke up and I just didn't want to do it. I need a bag. There we go. Alright, we bought 2 bags. Maybe we can get one to drop now.
Trust no one.
Yeah, I've been kind of feeling the burnout of hardcore that like Blizzard clearly wants people to feel, you know? They want people to feel the burnout so they stop playing. And then, you know, ideally they want people to go play retail for a bit, and then they want people to come back for the official hardcore, but they don't want people doing it right now.
I'm listening.
Keza, good afternoon. Thanks for being here.
Trust no one. Victory for Sylvanas.
Speak quickly. Beware, our enemies abound. Trust no one.
Do we have a quest in Undercity to turn in? Yeah, I think we do. Let's head into the Undercity. We'll try to find the person that sells the fish recipe and all that good stuff. And we'll do the stuff there. It would have been nice to hit level 10 first, but I guess it's fine. Yeah, Clint, eventually I will need a tank. Preferably like in hardcore, like the official hardcore, I would need a tank because I'm fairly certain that at this point I'm going to be a priest. So yeah, come official hardcore if you want to roll a tank, man, that'd be awesome. Because yeah, the world needs tanks. I'll need a tank because I kind of decided that I'm gonna heal it on a priest. I mean, we're gonna be a shadow priest, but we're gonna be able to heal just fine. Nash, you're feeling the burnout too. Yeah. Yeah. It's a weird kind of burnout because like part of me doesn't want to step away from the game type because I find it super engaging. And then the other part of me knows that we're just kind of waiting for Blizzard, you know, which is not a great feeling to have. I'm not getting on that elevator. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's a weird place to be right now, for sure. Shizoom, that's awesome. Hey, thank you for being here and hanging out with the stream. Aaron, is disc viable? Yeah, I mean, it would be super survivable. We played disc in regular vanilla. It was like the second character I did after Classic came out. And we played Discipline, and yeah, it was pretty amazing. We never ran out of mana. We couldn't be killed, basically. I think that Discipline, although it would be a little bit slower kill rate, would be like super viable. You're gonna get improved power word shield, which is amazing. So yeah.
What do you require? Trust no one.
I was kind of hoping this person would have it, but maybe it's the fishing person. I mean, I'm playing right now, you know. I mean, am I done with Bloodsail? I mean, I don't think so because we're doing it now, but I don't feel like the level of hype that I used to feel. Like when I wake up for the day and I try to think about what I want to do with my time, there's lots of things kind of vying for my attention right now. Like, you know, and then we have the vanilla era rogue, and it's almost like, you know, should I be spending my time just playing a character that's going to be able to continue at some point? You know, it's hard to decide on a day-to-day basis. On a day-to-day basis, it's hard to decide. And like before Blizzard's announcement and before like all that stuff, it was really easy. Like we played hardcore and that was it.
I haven't got all
let's see, brilliant small fish. Yes, please. We need the long jaw mud snappers, mithril head trout. I won't need that for a while. I'm gonna hold off on these. Obviously, I don't have the money anyway. But yeah.
Dark Lady, watch over you.
Rezero, good afternoon, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Remember, patience, discipline.
I'm gonna check something really fast. I was really curious as to whether if you delete a hardcore character and then you undelete them if they fail their verification. So I'm gonna check real quick. The warlock just made me think about it. Oh, I can't. Why can't I though? It doesn't say. Usually it says like you have 7 days. Maybe because of my naming convention. Maybe I don't have a dead warlock. Sometimes I think when I reuse the same names, it stops my character from existing as a spirit. Because I should have a ton of characters that have been deleted. And as you can see, like, it's acting like I just don't. It's really weird. I mean, we literally manually deleted the warlock. So, like, she should be hanging out as a deleted toon. But she's not. Which is kind of baffling to me. Yeah, it's weird. I guess I won't solve that mystery today. Rod, good afternoon to you, man. Thank you for being here.
Goodbye.
We're gonna go knock out these level 7 and 8 quests, and then I think after that we'll be level 10, and we should head back over to Durotar. We'll have a few things that'll be a bit easier back in Durotar that we can tackle once we're level 10. So we'll do... now if we do the Mills Overrun... I don't think I want to do that one yet, because we don't have the quest to kill the named guys. And you kind of want to do that at the same time, and the quest is not even available yet. So that's weird. The Lich's Spellbook also would be good to do. That's level 8. Vicky, the warrior's still alive, the paladin's still alive, but what we've kind of realized is that in solo self-found hardcore, thinking that you're going to play a character that's going to rely on their weapon and how good their weapon is not really viable. It's not really viable. It's kind of what's killed the paladin, is that we never got a better weapon. Our weapon is like 10 levels old. Even when we fight green enemies, we get down to like a third of our HP and MP. And it just like all around feels bad. Whereas on a caster, as long as you can get levels, you're going to get new spell ranks. And those new spell ranks are going to be majorly what gives you character power. You're not worried about like the DPS of your staff. But for a melee character, if you don't get a great weapon like every couple of levels, you're in for some bad times. And so yeah, what I've decided is if I'm going to spend time in solo self-found, it has to be on a caster. Because otherwise it's going to get stuck in the same way that the paladin did. Eventually we're going to get to a point where we haven't gotten a weapon in 10 levels. And I have to be honest with myself about that. I could lie to myself and be like, yeah, play the warrior, it's great, you'll get weapons. But like, that's not necessarily the case. Steve, I don't PvP. I've never been killed in world PvP because I've never played on a PvP server where I've accidentally or unknowingly been PvP'd. I can't remember the last time I actually engaged in PvP content. It would have been probably during the original Wrath of the Lich King launch. Me and my friend did some battlegrounds sometimes. I was on a warrior, he was on a rogue, and it was kind of fun. But besides that, I have never done the PvPing. Getting killed by a gnome's embarrassing? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I've never had to have the experience of someone like swooping down and just killing me. Everything I know about myself tells me that I would be bad at PvP. And that I would probably find it really frustrating. I'm not a big you know what I did like though is I played Heroes of the Storm for quite a while. And so that's PvP. It's not like this kind of PvP, but that's really the only PvP game that I ever really played for long. Me and Overwatch didn't last super long. I just kind of don't like going up against other players. They're all typically better at it than me. And so that's I never feel like I improve necessarily the way that I can improve like fighting a computer enemy that's predictable. You can feel like you're improving your skills, but with PvP, I just felt like I was spazzing out all the time. In Heroes of the Storm it was okay because there were like map objectives to focus on and I often played a support class, so I kind of got okay at playing support classes. But yeah, in WoW I just like, I don't think I could PvP and like really enjoy it. Because I don't think I'd be any good at it, and I don't think I'd ever really get good at it, you know? Yeah, that's how I feel. People can do all kinds of things with their character so you can't ever hit them. Like, and I don't do all that stuff. I don't want to know how to do any of it. I don't care. Yeah, I'm not like... And if I wanted to do PvP stuff, I don't... Like, WoW would not be the place I did it. It would probably be more something like Heroes of the Storm, something with a little bit more structure behind it. I like that there's a pumpkin all the way over here. It doesn't make sense, but we'll take it anyway. And then we need warriors, and there's not a lot of warriors. This guy's been killing all of them. Like level 8 undead mage. Oh yeah, Justin, buffs would be a great idea. I don't think I've had buffs this entire time. I don't think I've had a single buff. So unless I had them up from last time and they wore out recently, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, hey David, that's cool. You know, I never understood the motivation to kill other players. I'm just intrinsically, I'm not a PvP person. I don't have the mindset for it. Yeah. One-shotting a mage sounds cool, yeah. I would feel bad though, like if I one-shot somebody in PvP, I would feel bad, and that feeling would distract me and probably get me killed. We've got quite a few people running around here today. I don't really need farmers, but it's experience, so... 20 people. Yeah, that's not as many as it used to be. But it's still something, I guess. Are we trying out classes? I mean, not really. We have a couple characters going that were melee that I kind of decided I didn't want to do melee and solo self-found anymore. So we're playing this mage for now. I don't have any other plans. Unless we die, I'm not going to start anything else up. But yeah, I've kind of realized that if I'm gonna play solo self-found at all, then I have to be on a caster. I have to be on a class that I think has a chance of like not getting into the mid-40s and just not being able to do any damage to anything. It's not going to happen on a melee class, unfortunately. It's late in the game for me to realize it, you know. But I'm slow like that, so it is what it is. Aaron, you think I'm right about the September 19th launch for Hardcore and you're bummed out about it? Yeah, man, I'm bummed out about it too. It's one of those things like, you know, where I'd love to just be totally wrong. Because I've been saying September since the very first day we heard about, you know, the summer windows. I was one of the first people saying like, you know, listen, summer lasts all the way to the middle of September. You know, it's not like it's a July, August thing. It lasts till September, almost to the end of September. And I think ultimately, like, August is kind of a dead zone for games. I think it's always been that way, and I think it's fine for it to continue to be that way. But what's happening in August is, like, we're getting Baldur's Gate 3. So, like, if I'm Blizzard, like, even though they're not the same type of game, they're gonna attract a lot of the same people because, you know, Baldur's Gate 3 is a big open world RPG with very defined class fantasy set in D&D 5th edition. Forgotten Realms universe. Like it's gonna attract some people, and it's like, why do anything in August? Why do anything where you might be competing with Baldur's Gate 3, which by all accounts is gonna be Game of the Year? It just seems stupid for Blizzard to do that, and they're not usually stupid about business choices because there are smart people making those choices as far as like when they can get maximum engagement. And so like with Baldur's Gate 3 hitting PC on August 3rd, by September 19th, like that like trend should be like mellowing out. Like everyone who wants to play BG3 is playing it. The hype is finally subsiding a bit. And then, you know, late September, Blizzard opened up the hardcore realms and maybe people come back for them. Yeah, Shizum, they used to do that. They used to do that when they thought that they would come out on top. And so if it were a retail expansion launch or any kind of expansion launch, then I would say yes, maybe they would do that to compete. They're not going to drop a hardcore server. They can't compete with Baldur's Gate 3. And they know that there's no competition. It's like, and even me, like if both of those things opened up on the same day, I'm going to spend that day playing Baldur's Gate 3. I'll play hardcore some other time. And I think that's how most people would be. If you're a person who's been looking forward to Baldur's Gate, but you also play Classic, like, you're going to take a day or so off of Classic to play BG3 when it comes out. Especially if you get, like, sucked into it. And Blizzard know that. So yeah, they're not going to do it to compete, although they have done that to other games in the past when they felt like they could come out on top of it and kind of shut them down. Not going to be the case this time, I don't think. Do I get burnt out playing Classic WoW all the time? No, not really. Sometimes I get burnt out of, like, a certain character or a certain game mode. But, you know, I don't really get burned out of just playing WoW and hanging out. When I was only doing recorded series, like sometimes only doing recorded series, I would start to feel some burnout. But when I get to hang out with you guys and we get to chat about games and chat about WoW all day, like I don't get burned out of that. Is that for the Warriors alive but retired? I'm gonna have to do some explaining in like a comment, like so I don't have to have the same talk. Not that I mind having the same talk, but I'm sure people who hear the talk a billion times get annoyed by it. TLDR, I decided that if we're playing solo self-found, I have to be a caster. And like, so I won't really go into all the reasons, but I'm sure you know some of them. Yeah. Oh yeah, Aaron. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna stream it when it first comes out so that people who want to see it right away to decide if they want to spend the enormous amount of money on it so that you guys can check it out right away. But I'm going to be focusing on an immersive recorded series. So day one, minute one, as soon as I can actually download the game and get in, because there doesn't seem like there's going to be any pre-install, which is scary. It's a 120 gigabyte game, and like I have a really super fast internet connection, so that's not the problem. The problem is going to be that like the Steam servers are going to crash. If they don't allow us to preload the game, the Steam servers are going to crash. The game opens up at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's 11 a.m. on the 3rd where I'm at. So I'm gonna be clicking it, you know, to download and get in day 1, minute 1, and then we're gonna stream it as much as we can that first day. And then for the immersive recorded series, I'm gonna go with a Vengeance Paladin for my main character. I'm not sure like who's gonna be in the party at what classes. I'm gonna kind of meet people and kind of. I'm probably gonna recruit people into my party based on whether I like the character or not, and probably think less about their class. But yeah, definitely gonna be playing a bunch of Baldur's Gate 3. Steam servers will be giving you dial-up speeds. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. I don't doubt it. I hope that they allow for pre-install, because it would be a big mistake not to. JJ, self-found basically means that you can't get stuff off the auction house and you can't trade with other players. You can equip gear that you find. You can equip gear from quests. You can equip gear from bosses if you manage to kill any bosses. But you can't use the auction house, and you can't get loot from other people. Or yourself. You can't even mail your alts, like, stuff, you know? Yeah, that's solo self-found. You're not grouping up in the open world at all. And everything you equip, you have to find yourself. Alex, I know that it is, yeah. I try to change the way I say the same thing over and over again. Like, so I'll say the same thing over and over again, but I do try to vary up the language a little bit. And I don't know that really helps a lot. It helps me to say it over and over again if I say it slightly differently. But yeah, I'll think about a way to get that info out there. Like, an easier way to tell people what's up. I could even have stuff that I paste into chat, you know, for commonly asked questions. I could probably have a list of stuff that I could just paste into the chat to answer, so that I don't have to answer it out loud every time. Yeah, on the official servers, JJ, we will be able to use the auction house and trade with other people and group up in the open world. So we'll have a lot more agency. I still think that, like, melee characters are going to have the same problem really finding weapons later on in the game when groups get harder and harder to come by because people are dead. Which is why even in official hardcore, like, I'm probably going priest at this point. Short answer, weapon drop suck. Yeah, it'll get down to, like, what happened to the warrior and Pally? No weapons. What? No weapons. Like, that'll become the answer. A bot to answer things. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Like a good AI bot. Yeah. Now, I'll come up with some canned responses, and I'll put them in, like, OneNote so I can just grab them out. Would probably be, like, really a lot better. What race for the priest? I have no idea. I have no idea. Maybe a dwarf. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna decide. I'm not gonna decide until we have a release date, which we're not gonna have until like September 5th. September. What's the end of the first week of September?
What now?
Whatever the end of the first week in September is, that's when we'll have that's when they'll tell us the release date, and then the release date will be September 19th. JJ, eventually I'm gonna finish Darkshore. Yeah, you can see my problem right now is that I'm thinking about playing a hardcore priest, and I don't know about getting burned out on a priest. I kind of messed myself up.
What is it?
And honestly, that series was like way underperforming. Like, not a lot of people were interested in that one, but I am gonna finish Darkshore, so we'll have Tildrassil completed. We'll have Darkshore completed. I'd like to eventually get a playthrough of each of the zones, like, in their own playlist, and it's probably how I should have been doing things for a long time, because I would have most of them done by now.
Beware the living.
But yeah, I'm gonna go back to that one eventually. It's just not gonna be right now. It might be soon though. It might be soon. We hit 10. Thanks, guys. I didn't even notice that we hit 10. We were interested in, like, looking at how bad the arcane tree is. So that's fun. Let's see. Reduces your target's resistance to all of your abilities. Okay. Reduces the chance that the opponent can resist. Alright, that's okay. Gives you a 20% chance to avoid interruption. Which would be a 100% chance that you can get this and then you can, like, what, tank enemies to your face? You don't want to tank enemies to your face. Oh, wand specialization, though. Oh. Is this as good as the priest wand specialization? 13 and 13, so we're talking about overall, like, a 26% increase in damage. That's not bad if you wanted to wand. Oh, we're not going arcane, Red Robin. We're just looking at how bad the tree is. Because we were talking about it the other day. A 2% chance of entering a clear casting state after any damage spell hits the target. Reduces the mana cost of the next spell by 100%. Yeah. I mean, what's the end game here? Arcane power, 3-minute cooldown. Your spells deal 30% more damage while costing 30% more mana to cast. Yikes. Yikes. Alright, yeah, we're going into Frost, obviously. The problem with Frost is that every single talent is good. Every single talent is good. I think we have to go 5 points here.
This had better be good. Our time.
Arcane is decent for huge pulls. Fire combined with Arcane is OP at max level. Yeah, I'm sure like eventually there's probably other stuff you can do. Like once you can get down into the Arcane tree, maybe it gets good. And the fact of the matter is, like, maybe we'll try some of those other specs as we go. What I really want to learn how to do eventually is I want to learn how to AoE.
Hello.
I want to AoE down mobs. And I want to be able to grind that way. We got this, which is not bad. We haven't really been able to do much with our tailoring, unfortunately. Yeah, Frost gets really fun. I was having a really fun time on our last troll mage that I got killed, you know, before she got killed.
Goodbye.
Oh, this one is down to the basement. This is the, kill the guy. Mage quest. Mage quest.
Victory for Sylvanas.
Okay. Conjure Water rank 2. Awesome. Frost Armor 2 and Frost Nova. Okay, here we go. We finally have some more survivability now that we have Frost Nova. That's actually really huge for us. We gotta get this out to the bar. Where do I want this? Probably, like, not... Yeah, we don't need fishing out. Let's do that. Actually, let's do this. I don't really plan to use this a lot. We have Frostbolt rank 2 out. We need Conjure Water 2. A Frost Mage retail series? Yeah, probably. In the fullness of time, I think I've attempted 2 Mage retail playthroughs. One of them when the level cap was 120. That was a Night Elf. Yeah. Remember when the level cap was 120 and you would level up a character and you'd gain a level every 10 seconds? That was horrible. That was a bad time. And then one of them might have been a troll. Yeah. But I think that, like, back when I played those mages, like, the balancing for enemies in retail, was so different and so weird. Like, I felt like on those mages, all we really wanted to do was cast Arcane Missiles, and I pointed this out because, like, basically just Arcane Missiles would kill everything by the time it was finished channeling. And the game back then in retail was in such a weird, like, state to level through. It almost always felt bad. And now it feels good, yeah. Like, all the retail characters that I tried to play and couldn't, like, months and months and years ago, like, yeah, it's better now. It's actually, like, an enjoyable experience to level up in retail now, whereas back then it really wasn't. There were lots of, like, weird things, depending on, like, what content you were trying to level up in. Could feel weird. It starts at 2 items, but I think eventually you make more at a time. This is the one, yeah. Now for some reason, even though we didn't have it, now we have this level 7 quest. Of which, like, now I have to go do this before we head back to Durotar. Where is this one happening at? Okay, it's happening over here. And it's... yeah, okay. Let's go do this, whatever this is. And then maybe we ought to even get the guy's spellbook. It goes up by 2 every time you level, between ranks. Thanks, Orange Man. I figured there was some kind of like order or logic to it, I just wasn't sure what it was. Let's go get the spellbook, and then we'll take this on, and then once all that's turned in, we should be ready to head back to Durotar. I don't want to wait too long. It's a bad posture day. I can't. It's one of those days I can't get comfortable in my chair. Mr. Jackpot's good afternoon, man. You can't hear anything though, but you're still hanging. I appreciate that. Ah, that's right, they evade. They evade. They can't come into the water, so they evade. Ugh, so bad. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate that. I could have typed. I could have typed something, yeah. Dustin, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here. I don't like the current situation. I feel like I want to leash this guy. Yeah, there we go. I didn't like that. That wasn't feeling particularly good. We need to eat and drink. So we walk up, we take his book. Oh, then we have to go to the Undercity, and then he gives us the next part of it. Okay, so we probably won't do the next part of it until we come back here from Durotar. Yeah, let's head over here now, and we'll do this stuff. I'm kind of getting burned out of the Tirisfal aesthetic. It's too dark here, and I need like a little bit of brightness. I need a little bit of brightness because this is going to be a day where I don't really go outside again because it's going to be really, really hot here today. And it hasn't been really, really hot here often. But yeah, it's going to be like in the 90s today, and I know most of the country is still melting. But in Michigan, we've had a reprieve, and I've gotten used to it being hot, but not like super hot. But today it's going to be super hot. So the in-game sunlight and brightness will be the only brightness and sunlight that I probably get for the rest of the day, besides like getting the dogs outside. Yeah, David, the need for sunlight sometimes was one of the big reasons why I bounced off of Diablo as hard as I did. It's just like the constant, super dark atmosphere is not really for me. It's not really for me.
What is it? Do not seek death.
Let's go cook these fish before we do anything else, and that way we can clear up some inventory space.
Embrace the shadow.
I have exactly what you need. Victory for Sylvanas!
Once we encounter some humanoids that consistently drop linen, we're gonna want to farm for a while. I don't think it's gonna be anybody in these areas though. Like, yeah, sometimes they do drop linen, but it doesn't seem to be very often. We'll see how the Scarlet guys down here are. If they have a high drop rate, maybe we'll fight them for a bit after the quest is done. Yeah, Rick, the Frost Mage is going to have a lot of cool things going on. Yeah, we're going to get some awesome crits. We're going to get Frostbite procs, excuse me, where we randomly freeze people in place. It's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I like the undead areas, but like after a while it just gets to be too much, you know? I'm glad to be able to have a break from it. Silverpine is okay. Tirisfal Glades is understandably like a little bit dreary. I appreciate it more like around Halloween time, obviously. Like that's when the aesthetic is really, really nice. Because I'm basically a 12-year-old, so. Yeah, Dunmore or Winter Spring, depending on, you know, your level. Ye good. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to you. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, the Duskwood vibe is a little bit darker, but it's a little bit different. Yeah. Like, the difference in Duskwood is that, like, you actually don't get, like, any open expanse. Like, kind of here how there's no trees, it's just kind of a field with some hills, the sky is opened a little bit to the air. In Duskwood, yeah, it's like, it's much more claustrophobic. I feel like Duskwood is much more claustrophobic. Because the tree canopy basically obscures the sky most of the time. Okay, we need to get a wand soon. Yeah, although we're doing pretty good with our staff, yeah. And the good thing about taking some hits early on is that it gets our defense skill up. So that, you know, our defense isn't 0, so that one day we don't just get killed in one hit with like a crushing blow. So I'm kind of okay with the fact that we get hit sometimes. Yeah, Tim, Duskwood has a overall, like, creepier vibe than any other zone. I think Duskwood might win for, like, creepiest vibe in the game. I would say the Plaguelands could compete, but the Plaguelands are just more dangerous. They're not, like, creepy. It's very overt what the dangers are. There's just undead everywhere. Yeah, I think I'm shelving the Pally for now. I think that's the most responsible thing for me to do at this moment. Yeah, I don't plan to play it right now in the near future. When we're doing hardcore, we're going to be on the Mage until the Mage gets killed. Which she won't, so it's fine. Yeah, I need to play on a caster. In solo self-found, the only way I'm going to be able to like maintain my like excitement for the class is to play as a caster, because it gets too morally deteriorating when level after level passes and you never get a better weapon. Yeah, it sucks to level up and feel like you're not any stronger than you were previously, you know? There we go. We don't want that ad. And it's like, that's probably something I should have been able to figure out a long time ago, but I'm not incredibly smart. And the only way I learn things is through like brutal experience. And so yeah, buffs. Eric, thank you. I thought about it when they had 20 seconds left and then I forgot. Mendy, happy Friday to you as well. It is Friday today. Clint, this is the Bloodsail Buccaneers server. Yeah, this is a hardcore. Yep. We're on Bloodsail Buccaneers. Yeah, Clint. We can, on roleplay servers, yeah, they let you do Alliance and Horde on the same. You can't do that on PvP servers. But if it's PvE server or it's roleplay, you can play either faction, both factions. They don't care. We're gonna have to sheep one of them. Let's go here. That's not the way I thought she would go. I could have been muted. Maybe. I'm gonna mute myself now because I think I'm getting food. Alright, I might be going camera dark soon to eat some food. That is probably gonna happen. We'll keep going, but I'll mute myself and turn the camera off for a bit. Once we're not in like super danger. Yep, my wife has brought me some soup, some crackers, and I think some cheese bread from last night's pizza. Cheesy cheese bread. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can eat while we finish farming up our signet rings here. This area is not too dangerous. Should be okay if I'm careful. I'm gonna mute myself, I'll pin a comment, and I'll be eating for a bit, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Alright, well, food is gone. Apparently I came off mute at some point. I hope I didn't come off mute while I was eating all my food, but that's a possibility. The mage is maybe too easy. Yeah, like, only in a situation where we're making it look easy. Yeah. Like a one-on-one against a level 7. Like, anybody's gonna make that look easy. The trouble comes when we get into trouble, you know? That's when it's like the true test of the class. Like, when we get into trouble, how do we deal with that? And the mage has a lot of tools. It's funny because, like, no matter what class I play, people are like, that's the easiest class. Yeah, they said that about the Paladin. They said Paladin, people would tell me Paladin was hardcore on easy mode. Which is an oxymoron, by the way. In a game designed for you to die over and over and over again, like, yeah, it's same thing. Sure, I might make it look easy. It's like if you watch Co Carnage play Elden Ring, you're gonna think it's super fucking easy. You're gonna watch Co play Elden Ring and you're gonna be like, dang, man, this looks really fun and smooth. It looks kind of easy. I could definitely do this. Guy's dodge rolling everything. He never gets hit. And then you're gonna play Elden Ring, and if you're not experienced with those games, you're gonna go, oh, it looked really easy, but it's not. This isn't quite like that, but it could be similar. I can't win, yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Like, admittedly, yeah, we have a lot of ways to get out of trouble. A lot of ways. Alright, we are done here, and I'm full on inventory. What does this guy have on him? A patchwork cloak. Okay, we will be okay probably without the patchwork cloak. Do we want... Are we getting any linen, though? Yeah, we can't grind anyway, because we have no inventory space, but we did get quite a bit of linen from these guys. They might not be a bad mob to grind on. Yeah, ultimately it's easy to say that anything is easy, but then, like, actually executing upon it is something different. I always appreciate when people, like, kill enemies and they don't have skinning. It's so nice to be able to just, like, literally just profit off of all the dead enemies on the ground. Imagine skinning in a world where we can sell stuff on the auction house. Like, how profitable that's going to be. Although, on the priest, I will probably go enchanting. Let me ask this. Is there a reason to keep enchanting after we get the greater magic wand? Like, I know eventually we can make another wand, like, further down the road. Is it worth it to have enchanting at all? Or is it really only worth it for wands? It's mainly about the wands. Yeah, which is okay in a world where we can like keep making better wands, you know, in a world where like the last wand we can make isn't the greater magic wand. But yeah, I don't know about like the actual enchanting part of it. Like we can enchant our gear, like that never really gets worth it. At the end when mats are hard to find. Yeah, so I don't even know if I'll take enchanting, honestly. Because here's the thing, guys, I'll be able to go to the auction house and get a greater magic wand for like 50 silver, you know what I mean? Like, people are going to be putting them up on the auction house to sell them. So I think we'll probably still go tailoring skinning on a priest, you know, for official hardcore, and then we'll just sell all the skins on the auction house.
What now? Watch your back.
Be quick about your business.
Yeah, but Jason, I'll be able to buy other people's wands. Like, someone else will make the greater magic wand.
Watch your back.
And I'll just go buy it on the auction house. We're talking about, like, for the official hardcore. When we can use the auction house and stuff. Like, I don't have to make them myself. I will go buy the lesser magic wand and the greater magic wand. And the whatever magic wand after that. And I'll get them from the auction house. And we'll be able to afford it because we'll be selling all of our skins.
Forsaken. Embrace the shadow.
Alright, I think I'm ready to get out of Tirisfal Glades. What is this? Speak with somebody in the Mage Quarter. Okay, yeah, I don't really want to do that right now. You know, this Mage quest, this is the one where a bunch of ads pop out and try to kill us, right? Alchemy's gonna be valuable. Yeah. I feel like if we're doing skinning and tailoring, we'll be able to sell all the excess skins, and we will be able to put on the auction house all the green gear that we make. Like, there will be a market for it, so I think we'll be able to make quite a bit of money between tailoring and skinning. Am I gonna go do the Mage quest right now? I don't think so. I think I'm gonna wait for the Zepp. Yeah, I don't see a Zeppelin right now, so good chance that we'll have a Zeppelin incoming. I'll hold off on the Mage quest until next time we're back here. As well as the Lich's identity. We have to make sure we come back here around, before level 15 basically. We have to come back before 15. So level 14 will be a good time to come back and finish up. Justin, I think bank alts are still useful, you know, because if I set myself stuff now, like at the end of my play session, I'll be able to pop over to the bank alt. Yeah, you gotta wait an hour, but it's still useful to me because a lot of times my bags are full. So just to have a place to go dump, you know, the stuff that I'm carrying is good. Yeah, I'll probably still have a bank alt, and then, you know, that bank alt I'll just check after the stream. And I'll do like some of the economic stuff like on my bank alt after the stream. Loser snooze, that's awesome. I'm glad I could help. Yeah, like I'm okay waiting the hour. It won't be too negatively impactful. It's not instant in Classic. No, it still takes an hour. Even when you're mailing stuff to yourself, it takes an hour. I think by Wrath of the Lich King maybe it was instant. But not in Classic Era. I hope I'm standing at the right Zeb.
Time is money, friend.
This guy doesn't tell me. He doesn't tell me. Oh, Orgrimmar, there we go.
Glad I could help.
Seismical, you're playing Valheim? I'm kind of jealous. I've been like kind of wanting to play some Valheim recently. My last playthrough got killed by the boat. I never learned the boat, how to control it. So in the next time I do a playthrough, we're gonna swim every day. We're gonna level up our swimming a little bit every day, and I'm gonna do a no boat Valheim run, where we just don't have a boat, where we swim to get where we gotta go, because that's what heroes do. But yeah, I've been kind of like, I've been in a Valheim kind of vibe. I've been putting off doing any playthroughs in Valheim because I have Baldur's Gate 3 coming up, and I really don't want like any more like competition for my time. So I've been holding off. But like a Valheim run is like in the future for like a recorded series, definitely. Yeah, the Michael Phillips challenge. Yeah, the boat was horrible. I watched YouTube videos. A lot of people gave me like what seemed like very sensible comments and directions. I just couldn't execute on all of it. I couldn't figure out, I would give the boat an input, and then I would get an output that I couldn't predict. And like everything was like that. I would do a thing, but then the effect it had on the boat was not at all what I wanted, not at all what I needed, and I couldn't figure out why the thing that I did made the boat do what it did. It was like trying to sail an actual boat, which I can't do. Like, I don't know how to sail a boat, and I'm not interested in learning how to sail a boat. I'm not interested in it. It seems like such a weird part of the game. And maybe people are just all smarter than me, but it seems like a pointless point of friction. Like, let me control the boat the way I control the boat in Witcher 3. Let me control the boat how I controlled the boat in Wind Waker on the GameCube. Like, let me control the boat in a sensible video game boat manner. But they wanted me to do other things. And yeah, otherwise, you know, I'd probably still be playing Valheim. Because that literally killed my playthrough, and I gave it a couple of attempts. At Camvan, ultimately you can still do a solo self-found challenge. And Blizzard has said this. They fully support people still using the add-on who want to play solo self-found. But yeah, their official servers are not going to be solo self-found. It doesn't make it not hardcore. It makes it a different... It makes it not solo self-found. It makes it not solo self-found. Does that make sense? Like, hardcore is that you have one life, and that when you die, you can't be rezzed. Like, that's the spirit of hardcore. And so there can be different types of hardcore. But yeah, the Blizz official servers are not solo self-found. But they are hardcore. because you're going to die eventually, you know? It's not that it's not as hardcore, it's simply and factually that it's not solo self-found. That's it. It's a different play type. Yeah, of course they're gonna do that. You think it's dumb, but like people don't, you know what I mean? You're allowed to have an opinion on it. You're allowed to have an opinion. You're just not allowed for your opinion to be unilaterally correct. Because ultimately an opinion is just what you feel. You know? Yeah, and Blizz has said, like, they fully support people using the add-on, because they get it. They get that for some people, the only way they want to experience hardcore is solo self-found. Me, like, I'm sick of it. Yeah. I would love to have a different mode of hardcore, where I could have a solo self-found character, and then I could have a character that gets to do other parts of the game that are World of Warcraft. Like, do a dungeon every day. Or use the auction house sometimes. Or, God forbid, I get into a group with another player to clear an elite village. So yeah, like, you know, you're allowed to not like it as much, absolutely. Like, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But I think it will be for a lot of people. Because I think it'll hit a good middle ground for lots and lots of people. Where, like, maybe they've had experiences like mine where they did solo self-found for a long time, maybe they got burned out on it. Maybe there were just big things about solo self-found they didn't like not being able to play with other people, stuff like that. So I think it'll be good for the bigger part of the community. Yeah, and then there will be lots of people who like to do both. Like, we're probably going to have a solo self-found character going and the official hardcore character, and that's fine. Can I get the quest for, like, Skull Rock yet? I can, but should I? I can, but should I? Grouping for world content will be weird. Yeah, it won't be weird, it'll be fun. It'll be weird because it won't be what we're used to in hardcore. But yeah, ultimately, yeah, I think it'll be a good time. It'll allow some people to live longer. You know what I mean? Like people might live a little bit longer with the ability to group up. You know, plenty of people are still going to get killed, and there will be people who don't group up. There will be people who are not playing solo self-found who just, like, they still don't group up a lot because that's not really how they play the game, you know? Yeah, Camvet, I understand what you're saying. You want it to be super grueling and punishing. I get it. Yeah. And super grueling and punishing is the point of solo self-found. But that's not the only way to have a hardcore run, is what Blizz is telling us, you know? And so ultimately,
Hey,
you just get to enjoy it or not, like...
Have a good one.
You get to enjoy it or not, because you're not going to change anybody's mind. Because everyone feels how they feel about it, you know what I mean? Like, some people like it, some people don't. So, like, ultimately, the only thing you really got to be concerned with for yourself is, like, do you want to play that game type or not? It sounds like you don't. And that's all. But, you know, the people who play that game type, we're going to like it. And someone telling us that it's not the spirit of hardcore, it's not going to affect how much we enjoy the game. Yeah, there's enough in real life that's super grueling and punishing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I drive around in the Ford EcoSport. It's been really grueling and punishing to, like, level up my car. Like, I can't level up into a higher level car. No epics will drop, so... I'm living solo self-found. Now, they have the add-on for that. They don't want to do official servers. They have the add-on for it. The thing about it is, and Blizzard said this, they're never going to disable certain things on an official server. They're never going to go into official servers and say, you can't group up. They're never going to bake rules into an official server that takes away parts of the game that for them are like personify World of Warcraft. Like, being able to interact in the economy to them is very important. And to them, it doesn't matter what version of the game is, whether it's hardcore or not. They want people to be able to use their mailbox. They're not going to remove that at all. They want people to be... And so it's just different. And so, you know, you're always free to do the challenge with the add-on. Just like we've been doing it all along. We haven't had official servers at all. And we've all been enjoying hardcore. You know, we don't need an official Blizzard server with baked-in rules to enjoy solo self-found. We can continue to do that in the places and in the ways we've already been doing it. It's already set up. Like, they don't have to do any work. That's the point. So let's make sure we vendored. We are good.
For the Horde.
I need to get up here and get this quest. The reward is a 4-slot bag. Yep, and yeah, Alex is exactly right. People did the Iron Man challenge and the Green Man challenge long before there was an add-on. Long before we were ever talking about an add-on tracking things, or we were talking about official servers. Back in the days of yore, people did the Iron Man challenge. People did the Green Man challenge. And when people were doing that stuff, like, no one was asking Blizzard for an official server. They didn't even have an add-on to track it, I don't think, at that time. So, like, hardcore, and there will be people, so it's funny that you say, like, well, the spirit of hardcore is solo self-found, where there are people who say the spirit of hardcore is Iron Man challenge, where you can only equip white gear. For somebody out there, that's the only real hardcore. That's why, like, it matters to acknowledge that it's just an opinion that you have. Because someone else's opinion is, someone out there is more extreme, and they think that the spirit of hardcore is only equipping, like, gray items, you know what I mean? But we've had these different modes of play. We've had the Iron Man challenge, we've had the Green Man challenge, now we have solo self-found. Then we'll have Blizzard's interpretation on their server, whatever that ends up being, you know. It's good. It's good that we have all these ways to enjoy the game. It opens the game up for a lot more people when we have lots of different ways to enjoy, like, not only WoW itself, but, like, specifically ways to enjoy hardcore. You like Durotar because it's orange? Fair. Yeah, fair. It's more reddish, I think. Maybe it is orange. I've been told that I'm, like, slightly colorblind. It looks reddish to me, but now that you've said orange, I see that too. Alright, so the first stuff we're going to want to do is, like, I think we come down here, maybe we do all of the stuff on the islands. Then maybe we deal with the humans at the keep over here second. And then we have centaur plans. Let's do the centaur plans, then the Isles, then the humans. Yeah, Alex, you nailed it. And so that's the good thing about the official server for me too, is like, yeah, there's no cheating. There won't be any cheating. So like, yeah, solo self-found is what it is, but like the way we do it, like people can cheat, they do cheat. On the official server, it'll be different, but there will ultimately be like no cheating in the sense that like if you die, you can keep going. Once you die, you're dead. You can't keep going. Mage buffs, yeah, we'll get them back up once we're gonna fight some stuff. We're not fighting yet. And by we'll get them up when I fight, I mean that I'll forget again by the time I fight stuff. Yeah, as another example, like when I first started playing hardcore, like my very first hardcore character, my shaman, which the playlist still exists, I had other rules that I imposed on myself because I thought, you know what, this isn't hardcore enough. This is what I thought, so this is how different, how I've changed. Through the course of my hardcore journey, is that on the shaman, I thought, you know, no add-ons. I thought we're not going to use Questie. Okay, Questie's off. I said we're only going to equip gear that we make. Okay, so all that loot we get from Quest, we dump it. I said we're only going to eat food that we cook. And I said we're going to turn off nameplates and floating health bars. And so that was my initial like rules that I thought like this makes it hardcore. This is what hardcore is. It turned out that made it super freaking hard. Much more difficult than it needed to be. But yeah, there was a time when I thought like for this to be hardcore for me, I need to impose more rules on it. But like I didn't then try to impose those rules on other people, you know? I didn't persist in saying that like it was my way was the only true hardcore way, even though I did feel that my rules made it a lot more hardcore. And then over time, by actually playing hardcore, which I wonder like how much hardcore are you actually playing? By actually playing hardcore a lot, like I realized that it was already punishing enough. That like my extra rules, they did make it more difficult, but it wasn't really purposeful. And so eventually I changed. And I changed my opinions. And that's what can happen when you actually engage with something a lot. You can grow and change your opinions over time. Sometimes your opinions get more like steadfast. But for me, like I changed.
You come get the voodoo. Be seeing there. You be careful.
Also, what happens if you actually play a lot of solo self-found, you end up in a place where I'm at, where like you kind of miss those other parts of World of Warcraft, and so like yeah, if you play 1,000 hours of solo self-found, like you just miss it. You miss being able to group up with people. You miss being able to interact with the economy in any meaningful way. And so the opportunity to have a hardcore mode where I can get those pieces of World of Warcraft back in my life is actually amazing. Is what I've realized after all this time. The Mage quest? I'm not sure. I haven't done it. We have a Mage quest. I think it's gonna spawn a bunch of guys on us when we do it, so I haven't done it yet. Kind of holding off on it for a while. Buffs. I told you I'd forget the buffs. I just picked it up. I don't know. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Juju heaps destroyed. I don't know what this is. Yeah. We had the one from Tirisfal, because I don't know what that is. Juju heaps destroyed. It's something over on the Echo Isles. I've never done that one before, so maybe we'll find out. Monica, good afternoon, good evening to you. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, Justin, it's only hardcore if you only cast out of your spellbook. That's what makes it truly hardcore. Yeah, I like the spellbook one, guys. It's only hardcore if you cast only from your spellbook. Also, you have to prepare your spells ahead of time. Yeah, and you can only cast X amount of each rank. Wait, now we're playing D&D. What happened? We got so hardcore that we started playing D&D. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, we have to do a manual roll first, and I have to have a dice camera so you guys can see my rolls. Or we could just play Baldur's Gate 3. I feel like we're just describing Baldur's Gate 3. I'm hearing a strange noise coming from my upstairs, and my wife is in a meeting, and I might have to go see what this crazy noise is. I can't. I'm going through like options. You know how like usually you can figure out like what something is. I'm going through like all the options in my brain about like what my dogs could be doing or what my kid could be doing to make such a noise, and like I can't figure it out, and that always like it always worries me when I can't figure out what the noise is. So if the noise continues, I may have to step away for a quick second and go find out what in the heck is going on. Do I prefer Horde? Nah. Absolutely not. I prefer Alliance. Yeah, I almost exclusively played Horde for like 15 years. Prior to Classic coming out, I exclusively played Horde like since 2005. And yeah, my friend was Horde, my guild was Horde, and there was never really an opportunity to play much Alliance. But ultimately I always kind of resonated more with the Alliance characters and more with the Alliance zones. We're doing Horde right now because honestly we've done a lot of Alliance. So I told myself if I'm gonna do another run, I couldn't put you guys through Elwyn Forest again. I couldn't do it, yeah. That's why we're on Horde right now. It's not that I prefer it, quite the opposite. But we just needed some visual changes to scenery, you know. We needed some visual changes to scenery. And like we weren't really gonna get them on the Alliance side of things. So yeah. Here we are. Now for official hardcore, we're probably going to go back to Alliance, like, in all transparency. Especially because this character is going to live forever, so we're going to be on this character for a while. And so, yeah, I think for official hardcore, we will be back on the Alliance side. And we're probably going to be a priest, so as a priest we can be anything but a gnome. So I kind of have to think about that too. Like what do I want to do? Whatever we do, Whatever we do, it's gonna be cloth, so it's gonna be body type B. So when you guys are thinking about like races, just keep that in mind. I don't need to come down here for the canvas scraps. We can get those from the humans. What I need to do is focus up and get over to the Echo Isles. We need raptor eggs, we need tiger hides, and we need to fight every single troll we come across. Only 11-year-olds play Alliance. I mean, I often feel like I live my life like I'm a 12 or 13-year-old, so, I mean, I can't say that you're totally wrong. Why can't gnomes be priests? That's gnomism? Yeah. I don't know why they can't. They don't have a connection to the holy light. I'm not sure why. Like, canonically, I'm not sure why they can't be priests. I mean, in retail they can. But yeah, in classic era they can't. Yeah, there are things I like about both. There are zones that I like on the Horde side. The Barrens is one of my favorite zones, and as an Alliance character, you don't really get to do a lot of questing in the Barrens. So, like, there's that. It's mainly the races. I have a hard time, like, resonating or getting immersed in the Horde races. Because all of them are so, like, many of them are very, very not human-esque. And it's why, like, on the Horde side, I almost exclusively play the body type B, because at least they kind of have a human shape, whereas, like, the male trolls, the male orcs, like... It's weird. I just can't get into the characters as much. I feel like this guy is looting all my eggs. Yeah, I think that's what's happening. You thought... Jeffrey, are you trying to troll me? Yeah, no, I don't like goblins. I felt burned. Like, if you were a Horde player in Cataclysm, and the Alliance got werewolves and you got goblins, you just felt kind of bad, you know. And you kind of like told yourself, well, last time around we got blood elves, but the Alliance got Draenei, and like Draenei are not as cool as blood elves, but you know, they're not goblins. So yeah, I did always feel like the Horde kind of got ripped off in the Cataclysm by getting goblins as a playable race. Like, firstly, goblins are supposed to be like a big neutral faction in the world. So I would have liked, if goblins are playable, they should have been playable by either faction. It should have been the first cross-faction, race before the Pandaren should have been goblins, you know? And then Horde side should have got something cool. Yes, they have a lot of personality. It's that I don't like their personality. Yeah. I don't really like how goblins are portrayed in the game. So, yeah, and I just don't, there isn't anything about them that I like. I don't really like how they look. I don't like how they're portrayed in the game. I don't have any, like, lore characters who I like that are goblins. And so, for me, it was just kind of a ripoff. They only got the one. Well, Justin J, I don't know that, man. It's not that I'm wrong. I'm right in the sense that there are goblins that do things with both factions. That's my only point. Yes, they recruited the ones who only wanted to be on the Horde side, obviously. My point is that canonically, there's a case for goblins being cross-faction. Obviously, each individual goblin or group of goblins can make their choice as to like where they want to go. So you are right, but I am not wrong. That's a logical fallacy. We can both be right. I can say that goblins have historically been cross-faction. That can be right. You can say the Horde only got one cartel of goblins. That can be right too. And so yeah, neither one of us is wrong. But that's how logic works. It's hard to take them seriously because they're kind of comedic. Yeah, like everything about them is for comedy. Yes, they are a comic relief race. And yeah, it could just be like an age thing. It could be that I'm too old to like appreciate things like that. Like I don't like when people give their characters joke names. I feel like if you're on a character that has a joke name, there's no way you're going to get immersed in that character. But you know, I'm an old person, so that could just be my thing. But yeah, I feel like the goblins are a big joke race. That's definitely part of what stops me from caring about them. And a lot of this how they're handled like in the game. Gnomes are also comic relief. Yeah, like, I can see how you would say that. And I think it's partially true. But I don't think it's as extreme as goblins. I feel like some gnomes have serious business going on. And it appears slightly comical because of their diminutive size. But I feel like they're not a joke race in the same way that the goblins are, because the goblins are also like... The goblins have a lot... I don't want to get into the goblin thing. You know, we can talk about the book Exploring Durotar, or whatever it was, Exploring Kalimdor. And we could dig into that and look at some of the things that were written about goblins in that, and we can have this big, like, quasi-political social conversation about goblins and why they're no good in this game. But yeah, let's just say I don't like how they're characterized. And I don't feel that way about gnomes. I feel like gnomes are characterized fine. And I feel like goblins are not characterized fine. And that's really all that I'll say about it. Yep, I think that's all that needs to be said. Yeah, Matt, I feel the same way. Like, anything that doesn't have boots, like, I kind of don't like it when I can't see my gear, like, and the boots bother me. Yeah, like, I don't know why we can't get this girl into some boots. They'd be double wide, but they make double wide boots, you know? I want to be able to see the boots. I really need to go scope out where Zelzane's at. We have to kind of stalk Zelzane. All the foot fetish people love trolls, do they? Because the feet aren't exactly like the feet you might expect. The feet are quite distinct. I guess that could be somebody's thing. Like, if that's your thing, that's awesome. Yeah. Like, if that's what you can get into, then that's great. Then it probably really works for you. I would prefer some boots, personally. Yeah, I feel like dwarves are probably the best of the shorter races. They still suffer from kind of the same problem that, like, if you have your ground clutter, if your ground clutter is up super high, like, your character is going to be hidden by ground clutter a lot of the time, because they're just not tall enough to be above the ground clutter. But they are the tallest of the short races. Yeah. Troll feet aren't attractive. Let's be real. Yeah, I feel like they might not be. But it might be somebody's thing, you know? George, I haven't looked at it yet, man, honestly, but I'll take a look. I don't go into my email as much as most people do. 'Cause I don't really lead a life where I have to go into my email a lot, so for like long periods of time I don't check. But I'll take a look at it, man. Best body type B for the Horde? Yeah, before Blood Elves. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's between undead and orcs, but like with the whole bones thing, I can't support the undead without their bones being covered up. But I like the troll, the body type B troll. It's basically just a person. Like they look very much like a night elf might look, but sans like the feet and the head, you know. The thing I don't like about the body type B orc is, in my opinion, there's not enough hair options that I like. I don't really dig any of the hair options. I feel like there should be more. Yeah, the upright male orcs are better than the hunched ones, but I still can't really get into orcs that much. Yeah, and if I did play an orc, it probably would be body type B. But even with that, it's like there aren't really a lot of hair options. That's right. They weren't able to be mages in Classic Era, were they? Level 11. We're going to go another point and improve Frostbolt for now. Yeah, true, Jeffrey. If you're a person who shows your helmet, yeah, it's like you might as well go bald, because like no matter what hair you have, if you put a helmet on, you're not going to see any of your hair. I don't show helmets in Classic unless it's something that looks really good. Sometimes it'll be like a headband or something, and I'll show that. But like for the most part, I disable the head slot. This guy's gonna respawn any minute. I mean, he's due to respawn, like, soon. Like I said, he's right behind us. Am I gonna have enough mana to take him before someone else takes him? Yeah, I think we'll be okay. Yeah, let's go. We barely had the mana. Barely. And we're running out of bag space, so... Alright, now we're just after the kill quest, and we need lots of stuff. We need tigers, we need eggs. Yeah, we still need everything except Zelzane. Zelzane's done, and the brother's skull is done. Why not just say female? I mean, you can say whatever you want. I mean, there are obviously reasons why people refer to it as body type A, body type B. Like, we don't need to get into it because we know that there's reasons why we use this language, and you don't have to use the language, and it doesn't matter because like it's understood what we're saying. Why don't we just say boobs or no boobs? Like, I don't know. Like, why not? Oh yeah, because dudes can have boobs too. I've got some heavy ones. Yeah, so like there's lots of ways we can refer to things as. It's just become common accepted vernacular on the internet, and just to refer to things as body type A or B. It's the vernacular. Sometimes you got to adapt. And Jason, you can just say that, but guys, you know what the point is. Don't argue past the point. You know what the point is. Come on, guys, really. You know why we say body type A or B, and it might not apply to you, but you know why people say it that way, because you're all smart. That's fine, man. We'll make it easy for you, and this is kind of how I am. This is it. We'll make it easy for you. There you go. Absolutely. I could do that all day. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. So we all get it now. We're all okay with calling it body type A and B. We don't have to have an argument about why would we call it that way. Come on, guys. Oh yeah, Lael. Absolutely. Yep. I've said it before. Like, I'll let somebody say one or two things that I don't like the gist of. After one or two things, if you keep at it, I keep reading stuff that I don't really like where it's going, I'm gonna say farewell to you. And that's just kind of how I have to handle it. Yeah. Once my blood pressure gets up about something, then someone's got to go, and it's not gonna be me. I'm gonna stay. Yeah, like if you don't like my political correctness, if political correctness offends you, then yeah, get the hell out of here. I could care less. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, you're free to refer to it as male and female. I don't care. I don't care how people refer to it. What you're not allowed to do is be like, why would we need to do that? Why would there be any situation when we would need to describe it this way? Because everyone knows what those situations are. Whether you agree with those situations or not, you know what they are. And you know why we do it like this. But ultimately, people are free to do what they want. What they're not allowed to do is try to, like, impose upon other people. You know, they're not allowed to, like, get into that realm of, like, politicizing and just bullshit social stuff. Like, I'm not gonna go there with people. Yeah, Jason, I could kind of sense that it just was something you weren't familiar with. The problem is that, like, people are familiar with it, and people are familiar with the reasons why. And it, like, if you think about it for a second or two, like, you can figure it out, like, why we would refer to it that way. It's an easy concept. And I think for some people, you know, they have trouble with easy concepts like that because it's like it's not within their realm of what they think about. BKY skinning on the mage because we're doing tailoring and we're doing solo self-found. And so for tailoring, you'll get into, like, certain recipes you'll need to have leather. And in solo self-found, I can't just go to the auction house and buy what I need because we can't use the auction house. And also why skinning is, like, I can actually make quite a bit of silver by selling all the skins that we don't need. So yeah, that's why I'm doing skinning. My pinned comment. I never take them down. Unpin. Thank you. Yeah, and more, yeah, to your point, Leo, like, there's really, like, there's no room for politicizing stuff like that inside of a video game. Like, the creators of the video game have to be political, so they have to, like, change terminology and do things. Like, they're kind of, like, forced into that, but, like, ultimately, for a player, for a person enjoying the game, or for a person enjoying somebody else playing the game, like, it's not necessary to, like, really dig into those things. Worgen get faster skinning? That's not fair. That's not fair, and it makes me want to go skin a bunch of Worgen in Classic Era, because in Classic Era we can skin Worgen, and we're going to. No, Red Robin, I think we can't use the auction house at all. You asked, can we sell them as long as we don't buy anything? I think that we're just not supposed to use it at all. It's a good question. It's a good question, and I don't know the answer, but I thought my interpretation was that we just weren't allowed to use the auction house. But you could be onto something. Yeah, I don't think we can use it at all. Edward, I agree. Yep, and that's kind of like, that's how I do things now here. Like, I don't encounter trolls or negativity a lot, but when if I sense something that I don't like, I'm just gonna deal with it. And I've explained, like, sometimes you guys will probably see me, like, mute someone on the channel and you won't really know why. And so you just have to be prepared for that and just kind of trust my judgment that I have a sense for these things now after encountering people a couple of times. And so, like, yeah, sometimes you'll probably just see me mute somebody and you'll be like, wow, that was sudden. It will often seem sudden. Because after a point, like I said, I give somebody about one reply of my own, but then if things are still going that way, then I'm done with it. What I hate more than anything is, like, ignorance. Either, like, real ignorance or feigned ignorance or, like, ignorance masquerading as wisdom. I basically just despise when people are being blatantly ignorant. And that's gonna mean something for me that it might not mean to everybody else. But that's kind of like one of my triggers. Is, like, if I think somebody is just saying an ignorant thing because that's how they're being today, then they're going to go bye-bye. Yeah, I've had to take that approach, Lael. For a while I thought I would be a channel where, like, I wasn't going to ever ban anybody or anything like that. I thought I could, like, talk things out and get people through things, but ultimately that's not why I'm here. I'm not here to convince people not to be ignorant. I'm just not going to let them espouse their ignorance in my chat. That's all. Like, I'm not here to convince anybody or change their minds, and I'm not going to try. A lot of people, like, if I were a bigger channel, I would just have moderators who would mute those people. I would not ever verbally address it. I would have a couple moderators. They would know what I like and what I don't like, and I just give them free reign to mute people. Because ultimately that makes it so that I don't even have to address it. Because it's definitely not what anybody's here for. I'm looking for these eggs, and I'm really bad at finding the eggs. Granted, we only need 2 more, but I'm just really bad at even seeing them. That's part of what I'm struggling with right now. I don't think there are a lot here. I think a lot of them might be on the islands. Addressing them gives them the attention they seek. Yes. Yep, I've unfortunately learned that. Yeah, I used to think that, like, if somebody said something I didn't like, that I could kind of, like, rebuttal to them in some way, and it's like, any kind of rebuttal, any kind of, like, reply is just usually wasted. It usually just exacerbates the situation, I have found. And so now when I see that happening, I just go right for the mute button. The ambience, Robert? Really? I don't know about that. Gets the glow more shiny. I'm not sure about that. I thought that was like a baked in glow. In classic era, items don't glow. Like, look, oh, here we go, good example. Yeah, like this over here, like this item is never gonna glow for us in classic era. Yeah, there's no way to make the items glow in classic. Now in Wrath of the Lich King, like I think by Wrath, like items on the ground were glowing a lot. And in retail, like items have this really subtle like yellow outline that I like, but in classic era, like I don't think there's any way to get this guy to shine for us, you know. I could be wrong, but oh yeah, but Red Robin, like in real life, people aren't always like that. Because in real life, like you encounter someone in real life, like at a job or at a place, and like there's a limited ability for people to be ignorant because they're going to be immediately subject to someone's physical consequences. Whereas on the internet, like there is no real like physical, mental, emotional consequence for people to espouse their ignorance. In real life, you have to worry about someone who does not agree with your ignorance confronting you. And so those people are less likely to do it. They espouse their ignorance when they're surrounded by people they know feel the same way, or by people they feel like they can intimidate. But there's less opportunity in the real world for people to be like that for the most part. Because there are more consequences when you're not on the internet. Nathan, I appreciate that. I've handled it in bad ways in the past. I've handled it in bad ways in the past, so I've learned by like some of the mistakes I've made by trying to handle things differently. Like, I have tried both, like, just talking people out, and I've tried trolling trolls. Like, I've tried reverse trolling. Neither of those work for me, because that's not the kind of person that I am. Like, you can't out-troll a troll, I realized, when you're not a troll. Like, you just don't have it in you. And it's hurtful to your soul to really even try. And so yeah, I've had to change some things about my approach. Yeah, Edward, it is. Yep, it's like you'll meet people in real life and you just won't know that they have those beliefs because they won't tell you. They'll keep it hidden, but on the internet they can just toss it out there and there's no real repercussions for it. It makes them feel good or something. I don't know. We need eggs. I need to kill more trolls. Maybe I should stop hunting for eggs and we just go kill some more trolls. What do we need? Oh, we need one more hex troll and then we're done. Yeah, let's go ahead and take care of that. Never wrestle with a pig. That's a good one. Yeah, Ivy, it's weird to me too. It's weird to me that like people think that a video game is the place for that. Absolutely. No, yeah, Lucy, trolling and being ignorant are different things. Like, yeah, sometimes people are like literally trolling. Trolling is a very specific behavior, and then people espousing their ignorant beliefs is a different behavior. So it's like it's two sides of the same coin for me. I have to deal with them both the same way, basically. Whether it's a troll who's just wants to get me to answer their stupid questions, or it's an ignorant person who wants to espouse their ignorant beliefs. It's like they're totally different situations, but I kind of just have to handle them the same way. I think that the reason why you see it in video games, online video games, is because it's another internet outlet. It's another outlet for people to say the things they want to say where there's not going to be a consequence. Like, you can't go to work saying everything you want to say because you got to keep your job. You know, you can't do it around your family because you might want to maintain some relationships, but on the internet you can be and do whatever you want. Sven, good afternoon, man. Thanks for stopping by. Deflame, if you're new to WoW, don't play hardcore, man. Listen, play Classic Era. Go play Classic Era for a while. You have like 2 months before hardcore comes out, like the official hardcore servers. Don't play hardcore right now. If you're new to WoW, just go play the game for a little bit and like grow a love for the game and like grow some like knowledge about the game, and then like understand that World of Warcraft Classic is a game where it's designed to get you killed often. It was never designed to be like a one life type of game. It was designed for you to die all the time. So like, don't let your friend steer you wrong. You should bother with it, but what you should do first is just go play a bunch of a character that you love on a regular server without deleting it when you die. It's designed for you to get killed over and over again. And until you've got some experience under your belt and like some muscle memory and some like good grasp of the controls, you know, I would say like avoid hardcore until you've had some experiences. That's what I would say. I mean, your friend probably just really wants you to play hardcore with them, which is fair, you know. But starting you off in hardcore is not fair to you. Yeah, I would say definitely like Classic Era is great because it keeps things simple and gets you into the game pretty simply. Whereas like retail is fun, but like early game retail can be confusing to a new player because there's so much that you could potentially do, and the game doesn't do a great job of telling you what you should do, because what you should do kind of shifts depending on like who you are, how much experience you've had with the game. But yeah, jump into a regular Classic Era server and play for a while. You have like 2 months to like play before hardcore comes out. We're thinking it's going to be September 19th for the opening of the servers. Have I walked by like a bunch of Lasher eggs, guys, and I just don't see them? I feel like that's a possibility. I'm gonna go check some of the islands. I think we're not seeing a lot of cats here either. I think that we got some other players around. I've seen a couple people that must be working on the same quest. Oh, our inventory's full. This is not good. It's not good. Nathan says, to be fair, I played WoW for a long time and I still have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. Yeah, that's fair to say. I think a lot of people can feel like that. David says, I've been a human in real life for a lot of years and I have no idea what I'm doing. Yep. Big true, big true. Especially as a warrior, Deflame. If you're trying to learn the game as a warrior, you're gonna die a lot, and that's okay. But yeah, you shouldn't he shouldn't have you playing hardcore right out the gate. Trying hardcore right out the gate is brutal. Yeah, I think part of the only reason that I enjoy hardcore as much as I do is that I've played the game for so long. I've played the game for almost 20 years. I've played so many different characters, and so for me it's a challenge. So it's a big different way to play the game. But I think if I was new to the game, I'm not sure that I would have the stomach for it. I would definitely just want to play the game normally if I was a newer player, and then maybe one day I'd come to hardcore, but I don't think I could start that way. I think the only thing that lets me do it personally is that I've played so much of the game for so long. That's how I find enjoyment in it. It's just like, I've done everything else that I've wanted to do, so this is something like a new way to play. I haven't tried Wrath Hardcore. There's just not a big scene for it. Part of the excitement about hardcore is like everybody else doing the challenge alongside you. And so that's what makes Bloodsail, Buccaneers, and Hydraxian Waterlord server special, is that like not 100% of people, but like 90% of the people that you see out in the world, they're all doing the challenge with you. What makes that a really cool experience is that when you encounter people in the world and let's say like they're in trouble, they're almost dead, you can jump in and help. And then you get this feeling like, oh wow, I saved that character's life. You know, they might have put 20, 30, 40 hours into their character and I just saved them. Or, like it's happened to me, someone saves you. Like the second day I was streaming on my Paladin, we were in Red Ridge and we got down to like 3% HP. And we got a big heal from a nearby priest that saved us. And it's like when you're playing and everybody's hardcore, you get to have those really, really awesome moments. But if you're playing just a self-imposed challenge, like on a server where not everyone is hardcore, like, it doesn't feel the same. And then people get confused, like, let's say you're on a Wrath server, you're doing the hardcore challenge, somebody's inviting you to a group, because they're like, okay, come on, join my group, let's clear these enemies out, and then you're declining the group, and the person doesn't understand, like, what in the world you're doing. Yeah, so it's like, man, I wish there was, like, a big Wrath hardcore scene. You know, if that was a thing, I would definitely be into it. But like right now, there's not. Inventory's full. Guys, our inventory's full. Alright, now we're just looking for tigers. We need 2 more furs, and everyone is just murdering the tigers. I haven't seen very many of them. Joey, Human Priest is an awesome start, man. Yeah, we had a Human Priest near the beginning of Classic, and that was one of my favorite playthroughs. Was our Human Discipline Priest, Athos. I have to get a thumbnail here for the last time on thumbnail. Last time on Hardcore. We stood on an island and killed dinosaurs a lot. That's it. There she is. Too bad you can't get the furs by skinning them. Yeah, it is too bad, because sometimes with like Yeti quest, anytime there's a Yeti or Wendigo quest, they have you go get skins. Like, skinning can help you get those items. So it is unfortunate that it doesn't work for cats. Because yeah, it does work for Yetis. For whatever reason, it's just Yeti that it works on. In my experience, it has been anyway. Yeah, there's somebody else here like moments ahead of us. Oh, here we go. A respawn. How convenient is that? There we go. It's this guy's fault. This guy is the reason why we're not getting any tigers. 13 Troll Warrior, body type A, bold. Bold of you, sir. Don't hunch over. I'm going to have sympathy pangs on my back. Oh, he aggroed a raptor. Oh, yeah, this is a rough one. I don't think I've ever had this amount of trouble getting these items. It's usually, like, pretty quick. This has been, like, low-key painful for me. The bags are making it feel so much worse than it would be. Like, I would be fine being out here, but... A, there's not enough to kill. Like, there's nothing else to even fight. I guess I could fight the crawlers, you know, and the raptors, and then maybe we see a tiger eventually. But the problem with fighting them is that right now I have full bags, so it really doesn't behoove me to kill a bunch of stuff. Oh, we got through the rest of it so quick. Like, of course we'd get hung up on something. We're just hung up really hard here on the tigers. It's not good for me. Yeah, and apparently there are just like none of them on this island. And the most frustrating part is like I can't even really fight a bunch of stuff because our bags are full. Our XP per hour is just like going down the toilet essentially. It's bad. And now I'm seeing all the eggs that I don't need. I think the Furbolg, they've always like had free will, right? I think it's a free will thing. I think like in classic era, none of the Worgen we encounter have free will, but the Furbolg do. I think even though they're primitive, they do. Oh, look at this! The Juju heaps. Juju heaps. I don't know what this is. I forgot that we had this quest. I don't even know what these look like. There are Juju heaps, and we must destroy them. But first, I would need to know anything about what they are, what they look like. I don't see... Oh, crap. There we go. I see it now. At least we don't have to carry these. We're just destroying them. Private Gem, I think some people would like that, but I think a lot of people who like Classic wouldn't like it. I think what would be cool, I don't know if it would ever be technologically possible, but you know how like Diablo 2 Remaster? They had like new graphics in the Diablo 2 Remaster, but this guy just healed my guy. Why did he heal my guy? We're not together. What's with that? I wish there was a toggle for people who felt that way. So like you could go into the menu and you could just flip a switch and you could have classic graphics or you could have like modern graphics. But I think that kind of lift would be impossible in WoW, like in a way that it wasn't in Diablo 2. I think the game looks great. I don't like the lighting in a lot of the old world until recently. In a lot of the old world, the lighting was not as good in retail as it was in Classic. The lighting in Classic is perfect. I get that some people want to see like the updated character models. I kind of understand that. It does sometimes suck like not having a lot of customization options for your character. So like I do wish that I don't want them to change like the world graphics. I think it'd be cool to have a switch to flip so that you could be like a modern looking character model or not. I just don't know how they would manage that. This guy just pulled a bunch of stuff. We will take advantage of it by doing that, and then we'll get out of here. I feel like these are just only in buildings. I feel like, ooh, this guy is having problems. I wonder if his problems are going to let us get inside of here and loot these or not. I don't feel super good about this, because those guys are going to leash in a second. When they leash, we'll get out of here. Maybe they won't leash. Maybe he will deal with them. Alright, now we can get out of the Echo Isles. We are finally done. We even did the Mage quest, and I don't know what that's going to chain into, or what that's going to be like, but we'll see. Yeah, I thought the one in Undercity, it just spawned like 3 guys on top of you, basically. Like the one in Stormwind does. Yeah, 3 elementals. Yeah, this one was a lot easier. Granted, they put it inside of a building that without the one guy pulling all those guys out, that getting into that building might have been difficult, but yeah, ultimately it's easier than having 3 guys dropped on you. The cross healing we saw was weird. I've never seen an enemy tagged by another player turn around and heal the enemy that I'm fighting when we're not like in a party. That was a really weird interaction that very easily could have screwed us over. And I didn't know that interaction could take place. Yeah, Jamie, I probably should. I've been doing different things with the stream playlist. Right now, it's all just in like a daily hardcore playlist. I kind of had to stop breaking it out by character. Because I got to a point where, like, in a given day, I might jump between a bunch of characters. And so, like, I could probably eventually get them into a better playlist. I'll go back and I'll look at the Mage episodes and see if I can get the Mage into a playlist. But the problem is, like, when I started this character, for instance, it was on a day when we were bouncing around to a lot of characters. I started this character on a day when I was, like, very ambivalent in the stream about what I wanted to do. And so that was kind of, like, one of the reasons why I stopped putting them just in playlist by character, is that, like, during the stream I found that sometimes I'd like to switch between them. Like, I did that for a while. And it made it kind of hard to think about putting them in the playlist character by character. But yeah, if we stick on this character for a time, I could create another playlist outside of the daily stream playlist that has just the Troll Mage. Because yeah, understandably, especially when I'm doing different stuff each day in the stream, it gets kind of hard to keep track of what's what.
Later. Okie dokie.
Relax.
Good to meet ya.
What you looking for? Be seeing ya.
Hello, man. Be seeing ya. How you doing, man?
Oh, nice. Here we go. 1 int, 1 spirit. Hey, that's awesome.
Spirits be with you, man. Relax. Stay away from the voodoo.
Alright, now we'll go up to the Kaltiran Keep here and we will deal with the human infestation. Yeah, we've got quite a bit of linen already. We're going to do a little bit of tailoring whenever we're back in Razor Hill. As soon as we get back to Razor Hill, we'll work on tailoring a bit. How many levels do I have on the hardcore add-on? I'm not sure, like, where I would look at that. You mean, like, total levels across all characters? I have no idea. Lots, I guess. I'm not sure. Not sure what I'm looking at. Oh, I see it. I see it now. 230 levels across all characters that have used the add-on. Nice. Johnny, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here. But Jeffrey, I missed out on Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Yeah. Back in the time that like Elder Scrolls Oblivion came out, like I don't if I was playing single player stuff at the time, I was probably playing like JRPGs at that point. If I try to think about like the time when Oblivion came out. I played a bit of Skyrim, and obviously I played a little bit of ESO. But yeah, I never played the older Elder Scrolls games. Big miss. I missed out big, I think. Let's prioritize going into the keep first, and we'll get the guy's head. We will open the lockbox, and we'll go from there. It looks like someone has been in here recently. Now we leash them. Okay, he doesn't want a leash. Oh, that's fine. We'll just kill him. Ouch. He did a good job there. Yeah, we ran away because I had to leash everybody. We killed the named guy. We should be able to go back and loot him. I hope we didn't get Troll Bro killed because he hit one of the guys that was chasing us. I hope we didn't drop anything onto him. But I couldn't really afford to stick around and find out, you know? I'm a griefer, yeah. Nah, he looks like he was okay. I think that was him fighting, so I think he was fine. Hey, I didn't tell him to attack that guy, so... He's also apparently doing a naked run, which I don't understand, but it's fine. Did I get the key? Yeah, I got it. And we're good, I think, right? Yes. Okay. And we should be able to jump off here. Probably not the best idea. That was not the greatest place to jump off. I think we have aggro on somebody inside of there, right? What are the chances of that mob getting all the way out here and finding us? Probably not very good. But then again, we're still in combat, so... There we go, now we dropped out. Okay, what else do we need here? We need 8 more sailors, we need 6 more marines, and then we are good. Yeah, Steven, so far it's minimal downtime. Now, that being said, right now we're fighting guys that are much weaker than us. So I think on the Mage, as long as we're fighting something weaker than us, we can expect a minimal downtime. But eventually we'll be drinking a little bit more. Yeah, it doesn't get too bad on the Frost Mage. But eventually we will be drinking more, which means I'll get to drink more coffee. So, like, I'm not upset about it. Let's say this, it's probably never going to get as bad as the Paladin is right now. Where, like, on the Paladin right now, we fight a green and we have half of our mana and half of our HP. I don't think it's ever going to get that bad on the Mage. And the other great thing about the Mage is, like, you can make your own water, so you're never going to be out in the world out of water, out of mana. Now also, if we get a great wand at some point, then we will be using that a little bit. That'll allow us to, like, regen more mana between fights. So yeah, eventually we'll have a wand. And then we'll do things like we'll freeze somebody in place and we'll wand them down for the rest of their damage. That'll let our mana start to regen for the next pull. So we will have ways to keep our mana going even at higher levels. Eventually we get Evocate, which is amazing. And Evocate's on, like, what, like a 10-minute cooldown, an 8-minute cooldown? Yeah, we do most of the zones. Yeah, when we're zone hopping like this, ultimately we want to do, like, as many quests in all the zones that we can. We don't want to miss too much, and we don't want to leave a lot of stuff undone, because leaving stuff undone and not getting stuff done is going to compound later on. Oh, hi there. I did not see you. I mean, we could farm a bit here, but are these guys dropping a lot of linen? I don't really notice them dropping, like, a lot of actual linen. That's my only thing about, like, grinding here much more. Is, like, we're not getting a lot of kill XP because they're green. They drop. We already have this, don't we? Yeah, we already have that pattern. We need other patterns. They're like, okay, we won't drop linen, but we'll just drop a pattern. Okay, makes sense. Ah, the troll racial. Yeah, I should pull that out, shouldn't I? Let's see, we have Berserking increases your casting and attack speed by 10% to 30%. At full HP, the increase is 10, with a greater effect up to 30 if you are badly hurt. Yes. I remember that from our last Troll Mage. That is going to be really helpful. Ooh, level 30 Priest just died. That's rough. Let's see. Died in the 1,000 Needles to a Galak Windchaser. Oh, he died to Centaur. Not good. Clint, what's the add-on that does the no death proof? Just the hardcore add-on. Yeah. If you look up hardcore in CurseForge, that'll pull it up. Jason, tonight for like Wrath the Lich King stuff? Yeah, maybe. I didn't go last night, so maybe tonight I will. I'd like to. It's like, honestly, with my evenings, I kind of play them by ear. You know what I mean? It's like, sometimes I'm on here for most of the day, and then like after dinner I have energy to get back on. Other times I don't have the energy to get back on because I'm an old person. And then sometimes I have to do other stuff, you know. Sometimes I have to spend time, you know, I get to spend time with my kid, and a lot of times that's like a better option at night since I spend most of my day like sequestered in my office. Especially when it's like summertime, he's self-sufficient a lot during the day, and so I feel bad in the evenings like being away for like more time. That being said, I would like to do some more 5-man heroic plus, so it's possible tonight, yeah. With it being a Friday, it's possible, yeah.
Be safe.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that it's Friday. What's my age? I'm gonna be 40 years old in January. Yep, I'll be 40. Mm-hmm. A 32 is a good time to have your first kid. Yeah, I had my first kid at 30. So it's a good time because like you've gotten to live life a bit, yeah. I always like, I worry about people when they have kids like super young. Because I maybe it's just like a me thing. I was immature. I still am immature. Obviously, I'm playing a video game for 4 hours a day. But I wonder like if I had kids like earlier in life, like it probably would have been bad for me. Having a kid at all is difficult enough. It's a big enough challenge. I wouldn't have wanted to like try to tackle it any younger than I did.
Blood and thunder for the Horde.
60 is the new 40. It can be like if you take care of yourself and like, you know, you exercise and stuff like that, and you get lucky, because sometimes you exercise every single day of your life and then one day you die of skin cancer and you had nothing to do with it. So like, yeah, 60 can be the new 40, I think, as long as you're taking care of yourself and you get lucky.
McGraw, go for
there's a little bit of RNG in it too, I feel like. Like you can have a great muscles and a great body and work out like every day like I tend to do, and then one day you just like drop from something that you had no control over. Like that can happen, but yeah, taking care of yourself is a good start. Let's see. Warlock Trainer, I don't need that. Why is the Warlock Trainer tracking? That's weird. So what do we do now? What do we want to do? I guess we go after the Gnomish tools. That's like the next lowest level thing. I want to do a little bit of tailoring first though. Let's stand here at the trade supply guy. You know, and at my age, I still feel like I felt when I was 20 for the most part. It's like, yeah, I can still run my mile, I can still jump a fence, and I feel pretty good most days. What I've noticed is like the days that I don't feel good, I feel worse than I would used to feel, if that makes sense. Like the days where I don't feel good are worse now in my 40s than the days that I didn't feel good in like my 20s and 30s. I think it's like a recovery. Recovery is the one thing, like as I've gotten older, it's taken longer to recover from things. But besides that, I feel good. Joey, you're 27 and still living with 2 roommates. Keep at that, man. Yeah, it's hard to exist out there. Especially like when you're trying to raise a family and take care of yourself. Like if you can be in a spot where like you live with other people and like share the burden of the rent and the bills, that's where you want to be. Equip my bag? I bought a bag. Oh, I had the... Thank you, Johnny. I got the bag from the quest reward. Absolutely. Yep, that would have sat there for a while. Let's see. Is there a tailoring person here? I feel like I'm at a point where I could probably actually like learn some useful tailoring stuff, but like I don't know if I want to spend all the mats on the low level stuff, you know? Maybe I have to wait until we're back in Orgrimmar. Dustin, man, that's rough. I think like not to minimize your situation, but I think a lot of people can get like that. I think it's really easy to like to end up like that. Like, I will tell you this, at my age I have 0 real life friends. Yeah, so I have 0 real life friends. So like if I wasn't married, if I didn't have a kid, if I didn't stream in front of you guys, I would have 0 like interpersonal interactions depending on like what my job was. You know, if whatever my job would have been like in that life, that would probably be the only like interactions that I got. And definitely, like, as I get older, yeah, mental health doesn't get easier to manage as you get older. It really doesn't. Especially if you've dealt with mental health issues, like, for most of your life, it doesn't get easier. And you'd think that it would, you know. You'd think you'd get used to it. You don't ever get used to it. What it does is it like changes over time, you know. Like, I used to have like really bad anxieties, but these days like my mental health is more about like depression sometimes. You know, now I feel like my mental health is probably more about depression than it is about anxiety. But it's been kind of difficult for me to like acknowledge that and observe it, and then even harder to like actually act on it. And the thing about mental health is like some days you'll feel perfectly fine. You know what I mean? Like, some days you'll be fine for a couple days in a row, and then you just get to this one day that's like the worst effing day ever. Everything goes wrong, everything feels wrong, everything you think about feels wrong. And like, for me, that's kind of what mental health is like. Like, a lot of days I feel great, but like after a lot of great days, there will be a day that is like the lowest I have felt. And it will have nothing to do with things that happened that day necessarily. It won't be like some big terrible thing happened. It'll just be like what I feel when I wake up. And there isn't like a direct correlation sometimes. Is it called being manic? I think that it's like not necessarily manic, but you might be able to say like that's a little bit bipolar, yeah. The reason I don't feel like it is because, like I said, I kind of know what's happening, so I'll have days that are like really good, you know. But then I kind of know it's like the other shoe is gonna drop, type of deal. And yeah, that hasn't really gone away, the older that I get. But what happened instead was like I got over the anxiety parts of my mental illness. Like, I don't feel the same kinds of anxiety I used to feel. But the progression of days to where like you'll have a lot of great days, but every once in a while you'll have a really bad day for no good reason. Like, that still happens to me. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen that just on the streams. Those of you who are here every day. You know, you'll see me have a couple great days, and then there will be a day where it's just really bad. My background, yeah, was in corporate. I was a training developer. So for half the year, I would design a curriculum, and I would write the materials, create the materials in the learning elements. And then for the other half of the year, I would train like other trainers. I was a senior developer. I would train other trainers, and then they would go and they would teach all the new hire people that year. And yeah, so that's my background. And that background helped me get over like a lot of my anxiety about like talking in front of people. Obviously, when you have to teach a class, you have to get over that kind of anxiety pretty quickly. But yeah, but it didn't help with like random bouts of depression. Still definitely afflict me. Like I do most. I think most people. I don't think there are a lot of people that exist that go through a long period of time and don't sometimes feel depressed. I don't think there are many people who live their life in a way that they never get depressed. I don't think that's real. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a bias because I've always been that way, where I'll always have days that are not going to feel good. But yeah, exactly. I think that most people, especially living in this day and age with everything going on and all that we can see about the world, and I think that a lot of people like suffer from that. And so part of me thinks it's like normal part of the human condition, you know, but part of me knows that it's not. Part of me knows that like your entire day shouldn't be ruined because you literally just woke up on the wrong side of the bed and you can't get yourself out of a funk. Like, part of me knows that isn't quite right. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to take care of your mental health. You can do things for it. Like, my life is probably like the least stressful that it's ever been. So I can't really blame stress or blame anything when I have an off day. You know, that's why I know like it's in my control, but out of my control to some extent. Never hardcore in a funk. Yeah, Robert, to your point, a lot of the hardcore characters that I got killed during recorded sessions, I was having one of those really, really bad days where, you know, nothing seemed to go right, everything felt wrong. No matter what I did, it didn't seem like it was going to be the right choice. I couldn't get interested in things. Like, yeah, every time I got a hardcore character killed in a recorded series, it was one of those days. And streaming has made it so that even if I'm having one of those days, I don't get a character killed because you guys will generally like help me not get a character killed. So that's been really good. Private gem, I mean, that's a fair point. Like, yeah, the things that you put into your body will definitely affect your mindset. I definitely agree with that, yeah. And I think for some people, those taking steps like that can definitely help. Joe, you feel like you like a lot of things, but you can't settle on picking one? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It could be ADHD. It could just be like a natural state of having a lot of options and having a lot of interest. But yeah, sometimes if you feel like you can never ever focus on what you need to be doing, then you know, that could be ADHD. It helps to talk about things because you kind of get the sense that like everybody struggles a little bit with it. Yeah, that there aren't a lot of people alive, I don't think, that don't struggle with mental illness somehow. Whether it's anxiety or depression or something like that. I think that most people have their battle. Yeah, and it helps to like talk about it and know that you can relate to other people. I left one gnomish tool, guys. I got distracted. When Robert rambles, he often like runs off in a direction and doesn't complete the quest. That's okay. We'll just come back over and grab the last one. Yeah, I need one more tool. Yep, I do. I don't know why. I thought I had 3. No tools left behind. Mm-hmm. I don't see one down there. I feel like maybe we already grabbed the one that would be there. Possibly. Oh no, there we go. Maybe it respawned. I got lucky with my anxiety as a you know, having to teach classes. It got me over the worst of my anxiety when it came to talking in front of people and just meeting people and talking to people in general. That was like the best thing that a corporate job did for me during like my adult formative years. Was it forced me into positions where I had to conquer some of that stuff. Like I didn't have a choice. If I wanted to do what I wanted to do, which was like use my writing skills in my work. If I wanted to do that, then I had to conquer those other anxieties, and so I got lucky in that regard. Is that it kind of like life kind of forced me to do it to get what I wanted. But for like depression, there's no way to tackle that like forcibly. It's like it's not the same as like anxieties where like sometimes you can like put yourself in that situation over and over again, then eventually you can not feel that anxiety about it. Like depression isn't like that. It's especially if you're someone that like feels it kind of randomly, or if you feel like you have a bunch of good days and you know you're going to have a bad day eventually. Like experiencing it over and over again doesn't help it go away. I think I want to head to Orgrimmar. I want to grab some more tailoring patterns. And I want to see if we can level this up a bit. I thought we could make bags soon. You know, granted we have bags. We have one 4-slot bag. We could put a 6-slot there. But I want to see if we can get to a point where we can make any gear. Level 12, and we need to train, so let's go train over here. Be a little bit more convenient. The mage trainer isn't here, right? There is no mage trainer here because the mage trainer is at Sen'jin Village. Awesome. We'll go to Orgrimmar and we'll train there. And we'll turn in the Admiral's orders. We'll pick up Thrall's quest to do the Skull Rock stuff, but I don't think we're going to do Skull Rock right now. I think we'll hold off on that as long as we can. Maybe while we're up here in the north, we can grab the 5 sacks of supplies. We might be able to get this one done. Yeah, lots of people dying today at low levels. Those two died to Harpies. Yeah, Harpies killed them, it turns out. I think we could find them down here. Those would be some... that would be really hardcore if that managed to take somebody out. I don't want to see that medical case. It would be very advanced. The Harpies are dropping a lot of linen. Awesome, I like it. I'm super impressed by people who can speak multiple languages. I only know English and I don't even know it that well. So when people know lots of other languages, like, that's amazing to me. It's one of the reasons why I always say that I'm a stupid person, because I know, like, what my actual capabilities are. And I know I can't learn another language. I probably could have if I'd started when I was younger, but, like, at this point in my life, it's probably not going to happen. Too many dead brain cells. Yeah, I think I killed all the ones I would have needed to learn another language. It says there can be bags this way. I don't know if I believe it. I don't see any bags. Yeah, where I went to school, they didn't offer any foreign language until high school. And in high school, we only had Spanish. And my first year of Spanish was in junior year. So you can see I was at a little bit of a disadvantage to begin with, yeah. I didn't go to the greatest public school system, unfortunately. I went to the same high school that produced the musical artist Eminem. We went to the same high school. Not at the same time, because he's like a decade older than me. But yeah, I went to a not so good place that they didn't care about teaching us a second language, really. My son's in first grade and he's going into second grade. He's had 2 years of Spanish already. They had Spanish in kindergarten and they did more Spanish in first grade. They're going to continue. By the time he's a little bit older, he will at least fluently speak Spanish, and I still won't. Because yeah, my school system was bugged. It was bugged. Should have learned how to rap. Yeah, I mean, I did some beatboxing like in my 20s. That was about it. I see the last sack that we need, so that they didn't lie to me. There are bags out here. He's gonna swear at me. I'll know those words. And they better not be teaching him those words at school. He will probably eventually just say really snarky things at me in Spanish. But he says snarky things to me out loud in English like he doesn't care. If he's got something to say, he's gonna say it to me. He's often what like my parents' generation used to call a smartass. Yeah, but I find it kind of endearing. I always tell him, like, as long as he's not a smartass to his teachers, then he can talk to me that way. As long as he's not doing it at school. All of his teachers love him. This is Bloodsail Buccaneers server where we're doing hardcore with the add-on. Yeah, it's not the PTR, but it's also not Blizzard official servers either. If I come out back here, can I then get to that guy with the quest turn-in still? I think I can. Let's go this way. Also, we have Lost But Not Forgotten we might want to grab. In first grade, my son's biggest complaint about his classmates is that a lot of them never shut up, and they aren't quiet when the teacher is trying to teach. For 2 years now, that's been like his biggest complaint, is that most of the kids just don't listen, that they're too loud, that the teacher doesn't really have ways to like get them to focus. His first grade teacher actually said to him that real school starts in second grade. This is something my son came home and told me. He's like, Mr. Phillips says that real school starts in second grade. I'm like, oh good, so where have I been sending you every day for 7.5 hours every day if you're not going to real school right now?
What's up?
So this year when I go to meet his teacher this year, I'm going to ask them, is this going to be real school? And they're going to say, what do you mean, sir? Of course it's real school. And I'm going to say, okay, because last year his teacher said something explicitly to him that told him that real school starts in second grade and not first grade. So I just want to make sure that this is real school. Does he like school? Yeah, he likes going to school. Yeah, he does. He really, you know, like most kids, sometimes he doesn't want to get out of bed in the morning when I wake him up at like 7 o'clock. But yeah, he likes school, and he gets sick of summer vacation after a while. I think he's getting kind of like really bored of summer vacation at this point, and he's kind of missing some of his friends, and probably is eager to get back into that routine. Community college isn't even a real school. Yeah, like I don't even know what real school is. Like, I just wish that, like, you know, the kids could listen to the teachers and that, like, my son could have a fruitful day of learning, but it's probably not going to happen. I enjoyed school because it wasn't home. Yeah, it was a place I could go and see my friends, and I was always like pretty quick on things. So like I just did the work they wanted me to do, and I did it efficiently. And like in my childhood, there were big consequences for not getting like A's and B's. So I found the bare minimum amount of work I had to do in a class to get like an A or a B, and that's what I did. Yeah, Joey, I say lots of things to teachers that elicit like interesting reactions, because a lot of the things I say they don't expect someone to actually say to them. I've questioned like how children that sit so closely together, how can they be expected to focus on anything when they're sitting like elbow to elbow and don't have like proper desks away from each other. They like to sit kids at tables. They like to have it like 4 kids per table, boom, boom, boom. And it's like, how in the hell do you expect, you know, a bunch of 7 and 8-year-olds to focus on anything the teacher is saying when they are sitting face to face and shoulder to shoulder with other 7 and 8-year-olds? It's pretty obvious. Give them a desk and separate them a bit. Oh, you don't have classroom size for desk. Oh, so you have a tiny classroom and you have to shove 28 kids into it. Oh, okay. And then I see how it's like, it's not real school. Why did I come here? I wanted to do tailoring. Okay, that's why we came all the way here. What do you have to teach us, my friend? Lots and lots of stuff. I probably don't want to go through and learn everything because I'm going to burn myself out of silver. So I'd like to find some of the patterns that might have stats. Okay, that has spirit on it. That's okay. That has intellect on it. That's probably better. But then we're going to probably need stuff to like just level us up too. Like maybe the belt would be a good leveling pattern. Let's have a look.
May your blades never dull. What do you need? Strength.
Yeah, Mike, I think it was 28 this year, but it was like super small classroom. Like it was so tiny, it's kind of disgusting. Yep. Yeah, Jeffrey, it doesn't improve the social skills of little kids. What it does for little kids is it creates constant distractions. Yeah. Because at a table of 4 kids, you're going to have everybody, it's going to run the gamut. You're going to have the kid that can't shut up. You're going to have the kid that can't sit still. You're going to have the kid that's really trying to focus hard. And then you're going to have someone who's kind of ambivalently spacing out. You're gonna get every type of kid at that table, and it's not gonna be a good experience for them. What's a good experience for kids is like when they're doing work to be separated and have the space both mentally and physically to focus on their work, and then to have very specific activities where the kids work together. But that's not how they do it. They just shove the kids together and then they expect them to like focus, and that's not gonna help them. Because the kids that are trying to focus are gonna get agitated at the kids that won't shut up. And the kids that won't shut up are going to turn it into a game to distract the kids that won't focus. Like, when we're talking about little kids, packing them that close together and having them at tables does not help them. No. Like, socialness, like, that's what the playground's for. That's what extracurriculars are for. But when we're in the classroom trying to learn our things, we should not be shoving kids close together like that. It just doesn't work for small kids. What do I want to build and make any of this stuff? I don't even know if I want to work on this. Let's train the rest of this and see if we're broke. Okay, cool. We're not broke. Perfect. We need to buy some stuff though. What's the cheapest thing we can make? Cheapest thing we can make is the belt. Okay, we're going with the belt. We need 16 coarse thread.
Valheim.
Where's the vendor? There we go.
Babu. What are you looking for?
Yeah, I can't talk too much about the public school system. It's one of my red zone topics. It's one of the topics that'll get me to go red zone, and like I've tried to avoid on the stream like talking too much about things that make me flip out. Yeah, talking too much about how bad public school is in this country like will definitely make me flip out. Basically, kids don't have a chance. Like you have a chance if you're an intelligent kid and you have like intelligent, self-aware parents, and you get guidance and have good conversations at home, and you get lucky and you have a couple of really good teachers that recognize your potential. That's the only like kid that has a chance. Like most kids in public school, you don't have a chance to get like super smart. You don't have a chance to learn what you have to. Like very rarely will someone like get any value out of public school the way that it is. But it's not designed for them to like get really smart. It's designed as a place to send your kids while you work your 9-to-5 job, your corporate job where you have to go punch in an office. It's designed as a place to like just put kids these days. You just gotta send your kids somewhere. And they learn the same stuff that they've been learning for 200 years. You know, they get an abridged version of history that doesn't teach them any of the things that actually happened throughout history. They get their heads shoved full of math that they're never gonna have to do manually. And if they're super lucky, they learn to read and write. If they're lucky. Because a lot of people get through school and they can't read that good and they can't write that good. But they went to school for 12 years.
Go forth to victory.
I'd hate to give up the tunic and trousers look, but we are going to have to equip this robe. And there we go. Now we have a robe. Oh yeah, we don't pay teachers any money. Right. Yep, exactly. Like when I was teaching class in corporate America, I was probably making twice as much money as most elementary school teachers make who have been experienced at it. And it's because I was teaching adults how to do a job. And there's money to be made in teaching adults how to do a job, and there's not much money to be made in teaching kids like that they're going to sit at daycare basically for 12 hours a day. And public schools are just, like I said, they're basically just daycare systems. Unless you can afford to send your kid to a private school, and then it's probably a little bit better. You know, if you can send them to a private school that actually has a sensible curriculum that focuses on the things that they are good at individually and not focuses on like putting stuff into their brain systematically that they don't need. It gets worse every year. Yeah, Tim, it gets worse. It gets worse every year. Absolutely. Because like the kids change, like people change. But the system that we use for public school hasn't changed in 200 years. But everything about society and everything about how kids are, how they behave, how they mature, all of it is different now. Yeah, the teachers that are really good, they go do something else. They go teach in corporate America. They go to a Montessori school and teach there. The teachers who are good, they don't stay in public education. They can't, you know. They're gonna go teach a private high school or like something like that. They're not gonna teach elementary school kids. If they're truly skilled and truly passionate, eventually they're gonna go do something else.
Loktar, friend. What is it you wish? Speak, friend. Be safe.
Now we look like a real mage? Yeah. Kind of. I mean, Clint, if it's what she wants to do, then that's, you know, that's one thing, but it's like, yeah, I think it gets hard. I think a lot of people start off thinking, I want to teach little kids. I want to help little kids become people. And I think a lot of people start off and they have like really good intentions and they really want to do it. And then they get into schools where, you know, the kids are not what they expect. And the kids don't want to learn or listen. The kids don't even want to be quiet for the 4 minutes it takes for you to explain something to the class that is trying to listen. I think that public school makes it very, very hard especially on teachers who are like super passionate and want to do a good job. Well, let's have a look here. Let's take a look at Tirisfal. Yeah, we got level 8s back in Tirisfal. We've only got level 10 and up over on this side of things. So, yeah, maybe our next stop would actually be... Oh, look at that. We got the Hearthstone set. We're good. We are good. A lot of kids go home and spend 8+ hours on TikTok or YouTube after school. No homework. Yeah, the weird thing is, like, yeah, my son's not coming home with homework. The thing about it is, like, I don't want my kid to come home with homework. What I would like that hasn't happened yet in kindergarten or first grade, I'd like him to come home with the work he did that day. Which he really hasn't. He really hasn't brought a lot of stuff home. Every once in a while, they'll make them clean out their lockers, and that's when I get, like, all the worksheets and all the stuff that he may or may not have done. But yeah, I'd really like to get the stuff every day. I don't want my kid coming home with homework because listen to this. My kid is 8 years old, and no matter how old he is, they go to school and they're there for 7 or 8 hours a day. Don't you dare ask my kid to spend another minute doing inane fucking worksheets after he gets out of school. If you want him to do work, you have him for 7.5 hours. He will do the work that he does there. And he will not be doing a bunch of worksheets at home. That's going to be a pretty hard line for me and some teachers, is that, like, my kid is not going to come home from a 7.5 hour school day and do 2 hours of homework. That's not going to be his life. Because I think that's bullshit. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like, if you want him to do work, you're going to find time in the 7.5 hours that he's there to have him do it. Unless it's something he's struggling with and needs more practice at. Unless it's a situation where the teacher's like, hey, we're working on this and James is really struggling. Here's a little bit of extra work. Maybe you can go over it with him on the weekends to help him out. If it was a communicated situation like that, then I don't mind homework. I don't believe that kids who are stuck in school for 7.5, 8, 9 hours a day should be sent home with mandatory work to do at home. That's not just their work, that's your work too. Now your work day is over, you've worked for 9 hours, your kid's been at school for 8 hours, now you both have to do homework. And I don't think that's right. I think that's, like, very, very, like, toxic. It creates, like, a toxic idea of school when that happens, I think. Your student should have 2 to 4 hours of homework a night. Yeah, no, that's crazy. That'll never be my kid's life. No, and if it gets to the point where it causes problems, I'll just take him out and homeschool him. Your 9-year-old granddaughter has homework to do 3 times a week, and it's a lot? Yeah, see, that's not going to happen to my kid. He just won't do it, and I'll have to have a couple of conversations with him. Like I said, unless he's struggling in the subject. Unless it's work designed to get him up to grade level, he's not going to do it. If he's at grade level and his grades are good, he's not going to do homework. It's not going to happen. Yeah, you can't expect a kid to go to school for 7.5 hours. Firstly, like, I don't believe a kid should be stuck somewhere like that for that long in the first place. But because of the corporate structure of our reality, we don't have a choice, you know. We have to send our kids to school for the workday because people have to work through the workday. That's what we chose as a society. And so that's already bad enough. But then to ask them to do more meaningless worksheets when they get home is kind of pushing the line into just like pure punishment. And then they wonder why kids have such like a negative idea of learning and such a negative idea of school, when every system that enforces school is kind of designed like it's a punishment. When, like, learning is not supposed to be a punishment. Learning is supposed to be something that you can love. But when it's designed as a punishment, that's what you're going to see it as for the rest of your life. Am I taking applications to be your dad? Nah, I'm full up on kid slots. Yeah, my kid slots are full. My wife's slot is full. I mean, yep, I'm full up with my companions. Yeah, Jason, when you clock out the end of the day, you don't have extra work to do at home. Yes, exactly. You don't have extra work to do at home in most jobs, and kids shouldn't either. Oh, guys, good times. Hey, I didn't get totally triggered this time. I didn't get totally triggered. But I do think I'm going to take a break here for the day, guys. Yeah, this is a good place for it. We'll park it here. We can pick up here next time. I want to get on this evening, and I want to do Wrath of the Lich King dungeons. Which means I do need to, like, I need to get my workout in. I need to spend some time with my kid. I need to try to get outside, even though I'm going to melt outside. So I think I need to stop here for now, as fun as it's been. And I need to do some things. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. I'm having a really fun time on the Mage. So I think hardcore from now on, expect the Mage. And the Mage is what we're going to be doing anytime we're doing hardcore. So yeah, thank you guys again. It's been an awesome time. As always, take care of yourselves out there in the real world and take care of each other. And we will see you back in Azeroth again very soon. Bye for now.